This episode of Nintendo Pow Block is brought to you by, well, you. If you want to learn how to support our family of podcasts, head over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia or search for us on the Patreon app on your smart device. Thanks for helping us build something better. Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Games. I'm your host, the Insider. I can't go on because you got me. I try to be very professional. Everybody, it's the Insider Eddie V.
Just start over.
I tried my best to hold on, I couldn't.
You didn't.
Okay, I fell. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hello everybody, welcome to Nintendo Pow Block here on Boss Rush Games. I'm your host, the enlightened and excited Eddie V. Joining me is Bossman himself, the one, the only, Query Derek. Hello, good sir.
Hello, my friend. How are you this fine, what day is it? Tuesday evening.
Yes, I am doing great. Thank you for making me laugh.
That's what I do. It's what you pay me for.
Yes, that is true in a way. Everybody, we got a really great show for you. Before we actually get into it, do check out bossrush.net. Tom and David covered PAX East, and they also went to Nintendo Live. So do check their articles out and their coverage. Go read some of the games that they cover and some of the developers that they talked to. And it was cool. Sebastian got to meet David at Boss Rush. And they took a picture and everything. So Sebastian from the single player experience, he was there. Yes, good friend to Boss Rush, and everything. So I'm super happy that they all got to meet up and everything. I would love to do PAX. I really do.
Yeah, I want to go back, but next year doesn't look like I'm going back either because, like, probably like a month before we're going to Disney, and I'm like,
Disney
probably can't do both.
I do want to. It made me think that. I want to check to see if there's some conventions and stuff like that around in my area. And hopefully in October, they have their pinball expo, where you just get to see all these different pinball games and you get to play them and everything. I still love the Pac-Man pinball that they got, where you're playing, Pac-Man pinball board, and then one of the balls go in for like a bonus, and you start controlling Pac-Man, the arcade game. It's a nice, kind of a nice thing that they like mashed up and everything. It's really really cool, and I do love playing pinball. I don't play it as often, and I don't really see it at a lot of places, but hopefully if they do have it, I could go talk to some people, take pictures and just play some good old pinball.
Nice. Yeah. Probably should check that out. Check it out.
Yes. But Corey, how was your weekend?
It was, we'll say, kind of uneventful. My kids were sick most of the weekend. But what did we do? Oh, my parents came over yesterday because the kids were sick, and I played a lot of video games, and I played some newer-ish video games. So I can't wait to dive into those. But also, like, we'll get into the Snack-tendo, I guess. But like we had some Chipotle on Saturday, and then since we were supposed to go to my parents' house on Monday, but they came here and said because the kids were sick, and they brought the big breakfast that they like when we go over there in the morning. When we go over there, like they usually make this huge breakfast, and they ended up bringing it here, and so I, ate a lot. Whoops. It's fine.
Well, I know we were texting Friday, or actually Saturday we were texting. I mean, we kind of text every day. I was just like, it's pizza time. Yeah, it's pizza day. Because we both were excited to get our,
I
pizzas and
know.
stuff. And so I ordered my pizza Saturday night before I left work. And I was getting it at Domino's because they had like a large with one topping for like $8. Okay, cool.
Is this your
Carry on.
Snackendo?
Um, this is not part of my Snacktendo.
Pre
Uh,
snacks. It's this.
it's
This.
free snacks. It's the
The,
experience before, and I get there, and it's the Domino's by my house, and I park my car and I go in, and it really felt like they were. I know they were busy, but they were kind of some people orders weren't ready and everything. It was still being cooked. Mine wasn't even started yet,
hmm
and it said that I had like 20 minutes. So
hmm
I'm just like, okay, by the time I get off of work and I drive there, it should be ready for pickup. Nope. So I had to sit there another 15 minutes before I
15
got my
minutes.
pizza.
Hmm.
They had to make it and then and to cook it.
Hmm.
I think it's because there was a college game, I guess college football or whatever, Saturday night.
Oh, you probably live close to Northeastern, and college football started early. Wait, you said
Well,
this was Friday, right?
this is Saturday.
Saturday, yeah. Northeastern, maybe. I don't know. Continue. Sorry, I'm just trying to think. You said
No,
football, so my mind went there.
no, my friends, one of the pastors at the church that I was at Sunday, he was talking about how there was a college football game, Saturday night, and how I think it was like a really big game and stuff. And I was just like, oh, I know about that game. Made my pizza late and everything. So, but I didn't complain or anything. I eventually got it. I'm like, it's only $8 some change. I'm not worried about that. Got home, ate my pizza, and then disappeared into the darkness. I was like gone for a good while.
Disappeared into the darkness.
Dude, when have you ever ate something and you just like it was a bomb meal and you sat down somewhere or you lay down on the couch or whatever and you thought you were still up, you thought you were still moving, and next thing you know, you are dead sleep,
Yeah.
like just gone.
Oh, yeah. I fall asleep like 5 out of 7 days a week after dinner. So, especially when we eat something good.
Because
um,
I know you like. I think you had that burrito and then you fell asleep after eating it.
yeah. Oh, so good. Oh, yeah. University of Illinois. I forgot Illinois was in. And then Northern Illinois. There's a lot of good football, college football in the Chicago and then Illinois area.
Mm.
Chicago area, Northeastern or not Northeastern, Northwestern. Sorry, Northeastern's in Boston. Northern Illinois, Illinois Fighting Line. Yeah, there's a lot of good football there.
Yeah, so yeah, whatever was like a big game that was on TV, people were just buying pizzas and stuff for. So,
Hmm.
uh,
Football usually requires some pizza. So
on Saturday night, yeah. So I mean that my experiences there, just like I never had this happen to me, and everything. But I'm like, all was well. My Labor Day was a mess in a
mhm.
sense because like literally from 6 p.m. to we close, I may only have one or two customers. Like, and it was completely dead
Yeah,
at the store that I was at. I was just like, wow. But goodness, I'll have to tell you after the podcast story because the cashier that I had was an experience. And I got to be with that same cashier Friday, so that's about to be completely fun. But I did get to see my other friend who used to work at our store, who's at another store. He came in and we got to talking. I was just so happy. I was so happy to see him and everything. I was just like, "Oh, what's up?" He's just like, "Yeah, I'm right. I live right across the street." I'm like, "That is right. You do live close." So it was really good to see him and everything. So, but yeah, that's kind of how my weekend has been and stuff.
nice.
And with that, everybody, it's time for Snacktendo. Who should go first? Corey, you want to go first, or should I?
I can go first, I suppose.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, my parents came over and brought the big breakfast, is what I like to call it. So it was like quiche and bacon and sausage
Mm.
and buttery biscuits and everything that's terrible for you but still delicious. And I gotta tell you, man, it was pretty good. Not gonna lie, breakfast is like breakfast food is the best. It's my favorite meal of the day. I love eggs. I love sausage and bacon.
Hmm.
I love me a good waffle, although I haven't had a waffle in a while.
Same. I haven't neither.
But that's my favorite. It's my favorite meal of the day, and I love the breakfast that my mom makes. It's so good, so good, man. Oh, and they also brought a vegetable pizza, which I'm also a fan
Mm.
of. Uh, which is just like it's cold. Like I mean, you bake the crust on its own, and then you put the toppings on after. It's like this ranch spread with cheese, like shredded cheese, cold shredded cheese, and
Hmm.
then broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, and something else on there. Some people add tomatoes to it. It's really good.
Okay.
It's like one of my favorite things my mom makes is the vegetable pizza.
For
So
like the breakfast.
no, I
Um.
mean, it
Oh.
doesn't have to be for breakfast. It's an anytime snack is what I call it. Uh, so I
Like.
like it when the crust is like real thick,
Hmm.
and then the spread is like on there, kind of thick, but not real thick, because then if the crust isn't thick, Ed, and you put the spread on thick, all you taste is the spread, and like too much of the spread is like too much. But
Yeah.
man, it's so good. I wish I had another one.
I when I go up to see Larry in South Bend, we go on Sundays. We go to a place called Evil Check, and they have a breakfast pizza
Hmm.
where it's like sausage, eggs, cheese, kind of like almost like an omelet, but it's I don't know what sauce that they use. I think it's like it may be like white sauce or there's some kind of sauce that they use, and
Hmm.
it's like not too big of a pizza. I think they just put it like in small individual slices. And man, when I tell you, every time that mug is put on, depending on what time you are there, that mug is gone. Even when they like replenish it, it's gone and
Yeah.
everything. Like, and I'm my plan is to be going back in October for my vacation, to go see him on a Sunday, and go to Evil Check and just like and get some good food because I miss them. I miss them so much and
Yeah.
everything. Uh, but continue forth. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt anything.
Uh, I mean, we also had Chipotle, and my burrito was delicious as always. Well, not as always. We've actually had pretty terrible luck with this Chipotle, but they have new management, and the last couple times have been delicious. Man, so I really like. I've kind of swapped it up a bit, Ed. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
I usually get light rice now instead of like the full thing, and double meat,
Ooh,
and that
okay.
makes it better. Although extra meat costs like $3 to $4 depending on what meat you choose.
Yeah.
Uh, but I don't care. Uh, and I stopped getting beans on my burrito and swapped it out for the veggies, like the grilled onions and green peppers, which is really good. And then
Is
I
that
always,
like the fajita
yeah, the
kind of?
fajita
Yeah.
veggies, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's what I get on
It's
my
just,
burrito bowl.
yeah, it's just onions and green peppers. I don't know why they call it fajita veggies. I mean, I guess you do put that on fajitas, but there's usually more that goes, anyways. And then I get the corn, and I get double cheese, and I get the hot salsa. It's delicious.
It's a, so it's the corn. That's the corn salsa, right?
Hmm.
Okay. So on my burrito bowl, because I actually got Chipotle also. Um, Friday. Yeah, I got it Friday. No, Sunday. I'm sorry, I got it Sunday, and I got the chicken, the rice, um, but I just did like the regular salsa, the fajitas and sour cream this time. So I kind of get it packed and everything. Because sometimes, like, if I think if they put in too much salsa, it ruins the bowl, and somehow it makes it hot and spicy. I'm like, salsa's not supposed to do this
Hmm.
and everything, because they were just like, well, it's mild. I'm like, yeah, I know it's mild, but shoot, it still shouldn't be almost burning my mouth and making my nose run
Hmm. Yeah,
and
it'll do
everything.
that to you. It'll do
Yeah,
that.
and I had Domino's, but I kind of want to talk about. I got some rainbow sherbet in Wisconsin at the grocery store that I go to, and it's a brand called Cedar Crest, and this is my first time like tasting their sherbet. I kind of had like some of their basic kind of ice cream, like chocolate and vanilla, and it's good. But I really like this sherbet. I'm like,
Mhm.
ooh, this beats the Baskin Robbins sherbet that I normally get. Even even though I can't find it almost at the grocery store, at my Jewel grocery store in by my house. Um, but yeah, this one is completely I guess it's a local ice cream place in Wisconsin, and they sell it just only there in their state or at certain grocery stores. But man, I tried it. And I'm like, yeah, I like the sherbet. I think when I go back up there
Mhm.
and get some more. It's gonna be so good because I forgot to tell you the story. So I got some new Adidas, some new
Mm.
shoes, Friday,
UK.
and yeah, and I also got some shorts, but I was about to also look for some shirts at the Adidas outlet store, and I got a text that I had to come in to work because my store manager messed up on the schedule, and I had to go in because another manager was like truly sick, and I was the only one closer. But I'm in like West Kenosha, Wisconsin, and I had to drive 45 minutes to get to work. Dude, I did that mug in 25 minutes. I was hitting on the highway. I was gone. My little Chevrolet Spark gets up there. So I got to work and only had to do like 3 hours. So that was just like some extra money for, let's say, a bill for next week or something. But yeah, I just gonna be. I got some nice shoes though, and they were like only $40, and I was just
Nice.
like, because they had, I think anything that was like regular price was 50% off straight up.
Mm.
Um, And so I was going to get some socks, but I already just brought some socks. So I'm just like, I could probably get that next time. So when I get a free day, which will probably be Saturday, I'm going to go up there and try to get some shirts and stuff. Because they're cleaning out their summer stuff before they bring it to their fall gear. Their fall gear, they get all of these really nice hoodies, and I gotta try to find at least about 3 or 4 hoodies. I know I gotta order another. I know I gotta order a Pow Block one, a Pow Block hoodie. Um,
It's so funny. This
and
is our
everything.
longest running show, and neither of us have a Pow Block hoodie or anything. I mean, I have the episode 300 shirt, but like, there's no reason to wear it after episode 300. So
Exactly, and
it's folded
I
in my
got
closet on the top shelf, where like all the shirts that like are retired are that I'm just too lazy to go through and throw away most of them.
right. I got my Pride stuff and I got a regular Boss Rush, but I'm like, man, if I go to like a convention and stuff, I want to not only represent Boss Rush in a good way, but I'm like, want to let people know that hey, I do a Nintendo podcast,
Mhm.
and stuff. So I gotta try to get at least 2 hoodies because I'm really am waiting for fall to kick in, and that's my time to be like, okay, it's a rainy day. I'm about to hurry up and go get me a ham grilled cheese sandwich, some good tomato soup, and just like
Hmm.
chill out, vibe out, unless I gotta record or something.
Yeah.
But the one, the food thing in fall is easy for me, but I cannot. I don't know what to drink. I know apple cider is good and stuff, but I'm like, what is a good fall drink? And for
Yeah.
people say pumpkin spice, it's just like the pumpkin spice is you can drink that anytime. But I'm just like, I know Mountain Dew normally does their like spooky kind of Skittle tasting mystery dew stuff, but I'm like, I really want to try to find out uh what is a drink that meets the fall season.
Hmm. Yeah. Pumpkin spice, man.
You know good and well we don't do pumpkin spice.
Dude, maybe you don't. No, I'm just
You drink
kidding.
pumpkin spice?
No, gross. No, no.
Now I would say I would try a pumpkin spice mountain. Not Mountain Dew. Goodness. Ugh.
Oh God.
Monster.
Mm, mm.
I would. I literally would try. Oh, I forgot to say. Oh, I also had chilies. I had some honey. No, not honey. I had some barbecue boneless wings for lunch. Great, man. They go so good with ranch. I don't know what kind of dressing they use for their ranch at Chili's, but it's bomb big. I'm like, ooh, these are so good. Um, but they have this wild berry lemonade. It's brand new because I think they switched different. Now they're doing like different seasonal flavors because they had a watermelon lemonade which really good, but this wild berry, man, it was amazing. I mean, it was about $3.52, but I'm like tasting this flavor. Oh, and it was nice and cold on this hot day. I was just like, before I even got home, my lemonade was gone.
Mm,
I'm just
mm.
like, dang, I should have ordered two and everything. But yeah, that's gonna be it for Snack Tender for me. Uh,
Yeah, that's it for me too.
well,
We have a
everybody,
lot to
okay,
talk about. Remember how I told you how? Remember how I told you that there was no news?
yeah.
I found like 9 stories.
Well,
Yikes!
everybody, it's time for playing with power. And Corey, I'm gonna go first on this one.
No. Okay.
So I did start Sea of Stars. I'm 16 hours in. It really is a little bit Chrono Trigger-ish. Um, it doesn't really have like um, you know, like a phoenix down in a sense. Like if you go down in the fight, as long as your characters can stay alive after like about 2 or 3 turns, depending on what stars they're on, your character revive themselves with like half energy, and then you could just like kill them. It's a really great game, and everything. Game of the year nomination, I think for indie game, yes, but
Mm,
like for a game of the year, I'm not saying that it's not that good or anything. It's not that good or anything on that level. Uh, I don't know. It's just like fail. But I, I don't know. It's a great indie game. Definitely like up there for indies. And I know somebody tried to compare Sea of Stars for Octopath Traveler 2, and I'm just like, with all due respect to Sabotage and Sea of Stars, that game is not touching Octopath Traveler 2. I don't care what the review ratings were for that game. If everybody played that game, you hear the voice acting, you go through the stories, and you hear that music. Oh shoot, Octopath Traveler 2 will outbeat anything in Sea of Stars. You
yeah.
know,
Hmm.
but it really is a great game.
Yeah. I played about a half hour of it because I wanted to at least talk about it, on
Mm-hmm.
the various shows. But like, yeah, I wish I could play more. I just got, well, I mean, we'll talk about it in a little bit. I just got sucked into so many other games, but I like the animation. I like the characters. I like the
Yeah.
kind of the setup, right? But like, I'll get back to it because one of the games I'm going to talk about, I'm probably going to stop playing in a couple of hours just because it's not my cup of tea. But I feel like I need to play it anyway. So,
Yeah.
anyways,
I
continue there.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't pick up the Turtles DLC.
Oh, I did.
Which I need to do.
I didn't play it
Um,
yet. But I bought it.
yeah, I need to buy it and then start it and everything.
Hmm.
Um,
It was 10% off on the Switch eShop. So
I
I
wonder if
ended up
it's
just
still.
buying it. It might be. Ed's being summoned by his phone.
No. So I Yeah, and I played a little bit of Death's Door on Xbox, so I definitely do am enjoying it and everything. So pretty much that's it for what I've been playing. I am going to be playing Starfield once it gets installed and available for everybody, because right now it's only for certain people who got the like premium and collector's edition, but I am not able to, play it until the game comes out. But pretty much that's it.
Yeah. I ended up getting the early access for Starfield, and I've played about 10 hours. I don't really know what I'm doing. It's definitely a Bethesda RPG, right? But like it's it's a great one of those, but those are the RPGs that I'm not into. To be honest, I haven't played one all the way through since Oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I don't know. Maybe if I've also I like feel the pressure to like have to do not everything, but like play it for like 300 hours, right? And it's like just to like experience the game in full, right? And I don't have that kind of time, but people say shouldn't rush the main quest, and other people say you should do the main quest, which is like 20 to 30 hours, and then do New Game Plus and just explore after you play the campaign. I'm like, not doing all that, man. I just, you know, and like the map is really confusing because like it leaves your objective markers up all the time, and I don't know if I just missed something in the options menu or what, but
Mm-hmm.
they're just there's all these quest markers and they don't indicate like I wish it did what other games do where like I have this quest highlighted, please only show me these markers. They show you markers for all of your quests. And I'm like, I
Oh
don't want
no.
that. Like, and I don't know if like I said, I don't know if I missed something in the options menu or if there's like a toggle you can go through, and if there is, somebody just let me know. But like I never know what quest I'm heading towards, and I really just want to do the main stuff for a while, right? Till I get used to it, and then I'll venture out and do whatever. But like
Yeah.
it's like when I'm on like the starting planet, like the starting city or whatever, like there's like 12 quest markers, and I don't know how to like decipher which quest I'm trying to do, right? And so like I go to where this quest marker is, and then it just begins a new quest. So now I have like 15 quests and I don't know which one is the main one.
Oh
uh,
no.
yeah, and I wonder, I mean, I think I'm just missing something because there's no way that was a feature that slipped by, right? So uh but like I've been to Mars, I've been to the moon, I've been to a couple other planets, and like it's really cool. Like it's really, it's really cool to stand on the moon and go to this kind of outpost there and take some guys out and get some equipment and whatever. But like I don't know that I mean I said this today earlier, but like playing Starfield makes me want to go back and play Mass Effect. Which I'm actually thinking about doing at some point
Dude,
later this year.
if you run to Mass Effect, I'm joining you. I'm running that game too. That means I gotta go through one. But I'm like, man, Mass
Yeah, but
Effect
they
2
fixed
is
one with the
just,
Legendary Edition.
they did, but it's still kind of like jank.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Whatever, I don't care. It's Mass Effect, man. It's Mass Effect's awesome.
I feel like two is perfection. Like two is like top 10.
Yeah,
I feel.
I mean, I love three too. I don't
Yeah, three is good.
I love two and three. We use still the best way to play three if you're just looking for gameplay. Just saying, throwing that out there. I will defend that until my death. But yeah, I mean, Starfield's fine. If you like Bethesda RPGs, this is the game for you. Like, you're going to live in this
Mm-hmm.
game for a long time. But if you're not into Bethesda RPGs, this game really doesn't do a lot to change that idea for people, in my opinion. And I really thought this was the one that was going to get me, right? I really did. But it's not grabbing me. And I know people are like, well, you got to get to, Neon to really get into the meat of the game. I'm like, I don't know, man. I can't even decipher what quests I'm doing, let alone like go to this planet and start that quest, and then you'll be on your way.
So the thing that's gonna probably get
It's
me,
bothering me. I have to look. Sorry,
I
I
think
turned
that
my Xbox on, but
I think the thing that's gonna get me is there a story to this game? Because
yeah.
no one is talking about anything about the story. They're talking about the review scores and pronouns and all of this nonsense. I'm like, okay, regardless on how you feel about that, what is the story of this game?
The
Like,
story. I mean, they actually get into the story pretty quickly. The story is you are this new recruit for this mining company, and you find this artifact, and it like you see a vision, and then it knocks you out. And you go to like the mining facility, like you wake up in the mining facility, and then that's where your created character is, right? Like that's where
mhm,
you create your character. Uh, and then since you touch the artifact, they like uh somebody so another character comes in who has also seen an artifact, and he ends up giving you your ship and tells you to go to the constellation facility on I forget the new Atlantis, I think, is what the city's called. And then you go there and meet the people of Constellation, which is like the faction that you at least begin doing story stuff with. I don't know how far in the game that you progress with them, or if it's like you can betray them at some point and join another faction. One of those things.
yeah.
And then the main quest is you looking for the rest of these artifacts so you can kind of solve the mystery of something. Uh,
So it starts off like you playing Dead Space, but then it gets to like customization with the Legend of Zelda in a sense, with I'm assuming dungeons or
I mean,
some big or battles.
you kind of go to planets and moons and start other starships to look for these artifacts or look for clues for the artifacts, and then uh you can also like be boarded by like space pirates or encounter pirates who are trying to steal your stuff on planets kind of randomly. And then there's other factions that you can do stuff with. So there's like a lot to this game, and like again, like I said, if you were like really into Bethesda RPGs, this is going to be
Hmm.
the probably the best one since Skyrim, I would say, or Fallout. It's probably more like Fallout because you can shoot and that kind of stuff. But it's I don't know, man. Like I said, it's kind of not for me. I mean, I wish
Okay.
it was, but it's just not. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I might continue playing for a little bit just to see if anything changes, but like I said, after a couple more hours, I might just call it.
Well, again, because there's been people like reports saying that you got to play like 30 hours, I guess, of the main quest before it like really gets good or interesting. I'm like 30 hours. I'm like,
I don't know. I mean, like if it played differently. Oh, also the other thing that annoys me too is like it still does the Bethesda thing when you're in conversations where like you're looking the character straight in the eye instead of like a natural camera conversation type thing.
yeah,
And it's like it's just like I don't want to talk like this. And then there's multiple people in a conversation, like you, person A and person B are on a conversation. It just
yeah,
straight up cuts to the next person that's talking with no like panning of the camera, or they're not even looking at each other when they're talking to each other. They're just talking to you. And when
yeah,
they're talking to each other, and it's like there's no like nuance camera angles or anything to the conversations. So it's a very like I said, like 5 or 6 times already. It's a very Bethesda game. It's a very Bethesda RPG. And if you like that, you will love Starfield because it's probably the best one. But if you don't like it, I really don't think this game does anything to draw people in, you know?
right.
So that would be my early impressions, I guess. 10 or 11 hours in, I mean, it could change, but I mean, my problem isn't with the story or things that are happening. It's the way the game controls and is presented, and the over encumbering stuff is really annoying. And when you you really
The
have
gameplay. the gameplay ideas or functionalities, I should say.
Yeah, it's
Makes sense.
so. Oh, also like skill points are like the. Oh my gosh, the skill tree, man. It is so man. It is so big. There's like there are so. I guess it's not really that big, but like man, these skill trees are just like all over the place. You know. So. Uh. So yeah, I mean Starfield. I've been playing Starfield. I've been playing Sea of Stars, which we kind of already talked about. I'm on chapter 10 in Plague Tale Innocence. There's nothing really new to tell there. I just really I really love that game. It's
Cool.
just such a wonderful game. Uh and I've been playing a lot of Disney Dreamlight Valley. I am progressing. I just unlocked the Lion and finally went to the Lion King uh zone, which has been out for like 3 months at this point.
Oh
Uh
wow.
and I'm doing that quest. I have to make 3 bug meals out, like make take 3 bug recipes and make meals out of them for them. uh and I started to rearrange my island to incorporate everybody because the Beauty and the Beast update is coming in a couple months or in a couple weeks, and I'm quite excited for that. I love that movie. Beauty and the Beast is
I
like the
do too.
pr-
It's
top 3 Disney movies probably of all time.
same,
uh
same.
but like I didn't, side tangent I guess, I didn't grow to appreciate the movie until I was older, because like when you're younger, like at least for me, I was like, ew, gross, princesses and dancing. And then I was like in love with Aladdin for a long time, because he's cool and he can fight with swords and stuff. And the genie was cool, but yeah, man, I'm like quite excited because Belle was like the very first character shown off, and there's no Beauty and the Beast stuff in the game whatsoever right now, except for like a Mrs. Potts replica dining set that you can display on one of your tables if you have one. But uh the last game I want to talk about, Ed, I know I've talked about more games than maybe I should, but
That's fine.
I finally downloaded the Pikmin 4 demo and I
Yes.
completed it in one sitting, which I know is like, oh, it was like well, dude, playing a game for 3 hours in one sitting is a long time for me.
Yes.
So I mean, dude, I'm like itching to play more, but I haven't purchased the game yet because there are other priorities. But man, it's so good. I like I'm ready to play more. Um, so I man, Pikmin 4. I
And
really
that's
like
why.
what?
Sorry, I was about to say that's why I can't wait for you to play it and go on the underground and see how the game feel like some Zelda dungeons.
Oh
And
yeah, I
that's
know.
why I said, see,
There's been
oh,
a
go ahead.
lot of underground stuff, and that I mean I know they get more elaborate and more puzzle based, but the underground stuff is really cool.
Oh, so you did get this like the first.
Yeah,
uh
I'm like 60 something percent complete of the first area. Um,
Okay.
so I think I like it took like when it said the demo was complete. I think it just does that when you're available when the next area is available.
Hmm.
But I think I can go back and play more of the first area. So maybe I'll try to do that later. But like, man, it's so good, man. This is like seriously Pikmin 4. I want to play some more of it. Is like it might be like a game of the year contender for me.
See, so it literally is for me.
Dude, it's my
Like
favorite. It's my favorite one since the first one. Like
I
you know
agree.
how I feel about Pikmin 3, man. Pikmin 3 was like way too complicated, and this one is like just enough of like it feels like an evolution of one, right? Where like
Yes.
they give you new mechanics with one character instead of adding characters to make it feel like they're adding
Hmm.
like balancing the different Pikmin on 2 different characters or 3 different characters or whatever is
And
like
and I,
really annoying.
and I think they figured out like the speed stuff. Like I,
Mhm.
Ochi is one of the best characters added to the series.
Oh, dude, he Ochi is like the best new mechanic, I would say. I mean,
was you
he's
right?
awesome.
Was you right around riding around with them a lot with the pigment on him? Because I got around quickly with a lot of people. I mean, not people. A lot of places using Ochi.
Yeah, yeah. He Ochi's awesome. I he's just awesome.
I,
I
I
love him.
if I had to nominate character of the year, like a new character of the year, I think I'm gonna have to give it to Ochi and everything.
Yeah.
Cause like if he's not in the next Pikmin games or anything, I'm gonna be like, Nintendo, what are you doing? Like he to me now he is a mainstay and
Hmm.
everything.
Yeah.
And didn't even know that they use Unreal Engine for this game.
Yeah.
So that's why
I think it's an Unreal Engine 4 game, which is fine.
man
Like, I mean, I think that's cool, but
it's yeah. But I'm like, goodness, Nintendo. I'm like, this game looks gorgeous. I mean, Pikmin 3 looks gorgeous and everything. But I was just like, oh, this game looks very detailed
yeah.
and everything. And that's why I said, like, that Digital Foundry breakdown of Pikmin 4 is like really, really good.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
So,
Pikmin 4, man. I need to find a way to get that game soon cuz it's great, man. Especially if like Starfield isn't really like
mhm.
scratching that itch, right? Like there are plenty of other games that I would play other than Starfield right now. I mean, like I said, Mass Effect or even, I mean, Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out, and I haven't even touched Valhalla in like a year and a half
I
because I
haven't
was too
even
busy trying
installed
to,
Valhalla.
because I was too busy playing Odyssey and putting 150 hours into that game, and I still haven't even finished it. Uh,
Yes, that's the one I'm debating on. Do I wait for Mirage?
mhm.
Um, or do I get it like day one? Like,
Dude, you know, every Ubisoft game goes on sale after like 3 weeks.
I
Plus,
know
like if it comes out the beginning of October and Black Friday is coming up, you know Xbox does the Black Friday sale like for like
that's
3 or 4 weeks. So,
yeah. So that's what I'm waiting for because I'm
mhm.
just like, yeah, I know Starfield's gonna take a while, but I'm just like, man, Super Mario. I'm like Wonder, and seeing all the previews. I know we're gonna talk about it in Family News, but just seeing all the previews, even Phil Spencer, like
Mhm.
tweeting about it on how he likes it and or he
Yeah,
how he had a blast. Like if this game is getting high praise, what are we in for
yeah.
with this
I mean,
game?
yeah. Plus, I mean, like when Assassin's Creed comes out, I mean, look, you still have for Switch stuff at least, you still have Mario Wonder, Sonic Superstars, Mario
Mhm.
RPG, Pokemon DLC if you're into that. I mean, there's just a ton of Bat and Katos comes out soon, I think.
Yep.
Uh, yeah, I mean, it's just there's so much for Switch coming out. Like, still the rest of the year. I'm pulling up the release calendar real quick. Like, let's see, what is it? September. We still have like just gonna run through some bigger games, I guess. I mean, NBA 2K24, I might get that. But we
I
have
think that
like
is that out now?
it comes out on the 8th, so it'll be out by the time this episode comes out.
Okay.
Uh, Bomberman, like Super Bomberman R2 is coming. Gunbrella, which I know a lot of people are excited for. Pokemon DLC. This is just September, by the way. Solar Ash is coming to Switch next week,
Yeah, I just seen that.
which is exciting. I didn't even put like it just got announced. I didn't even put it on what's coming to Switch. I mean, we'll talk about it when we get there, but I'll have to add it in a second, unless you have the doc open and you can add it, and then I'll add the description while we're talking. Uh, Bat and Katos 1 and 2. Mortal Kombat 1 is coming to Switch, which, Mortal Kombat 11 was actually pretty good on Switch. If you didn't care about the crypt stuff, because the crypt the crypt wasn't, the gameplay itself wasn't bad, but walking around the crypt was like really bad. Uh, My Time at Sandrock, I don't know what that is, but it's coming to Switch. The That Dragon Quest game, Infinity Strash, Ed, which I think you would,
Mhm.
that's a straight up Dragon Quest RPG. Cocoon is coming out, which is that really great uh, indie game that puzzle based indie game that looks great. The Sonic Frontiers DLC is coming out, and that's just September, man. October we have Disgaea 7. We have, let's see, I'm just gonna run through the bigger games. Front Mission 2, Borderlands 3 Definitive Edition. Detective Pikachu's coming out in October. Batman. which I know a lot of people probably already played it, but it's coming to Switch.
So
Sonic
I
Super.
think
Oh,
I
sorry, go ahead.
think no, I'm thinking of buying that Batman game. I've been on the fence, but I'm just like, man, I might just I might just pick it up if it's a
Yeah,
good price.
I mean, I might get it when it goes on sale. I'm not paying $60 for those games when you can buy the bundle on Xbox for $11. But I think that game would be cool to. I just want to see what it's like portably.
Yeah.
So, let's see what else is coming to Switch. Sonic Superstars in October. Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 is coming to Switch. Mario Wonder, Just Dance 2024 if you're into that. The Metal Gear Solid collection comes out in October. Ghost Runner 2. No, Ghost Runner 2 is not coming to Switch. I thought it might, but it wasn't. Let's see. And then November, we have Star Ocean Second Runner, Smurfs, Thirsty Suitors, which I know a lot of people are excited for. WarioWare Move It is coming. I forgot WarioWare Move It was coming out soon. Uh, Hogwarts Legacy is still coming out in November, which I'm actually really excited to revisit that. A Turok 3 Remastered is coming out on Switch in November. Flashback 2, some Naruto game that people probably know. I'm not saying the name because I will butcher it. Persona 5 Tactica comes out in November. Mario RPG, Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection, Biomutant is finally coming to Switch. And then in December, you have Dragon Quest Monsters, Steam World Build, which looks cool, Skater XL, which is that skate kind of indie game that's kind of like the old skate games. So, and then obviously there's a lot that hasn't been announced yet. So, I mean, that's like 30 games that just rattled off, you know. So we'll see, but yeah, there's a lot of games coming out, man. I just remember when Switch was like the only thing we focused on. We should do that again.
Yes.
We should just do that again.
Uh,
Oh man, I think a lot of people would be sad/mad at us if we did that.
but there's just so much goodness coming to Nintendo Switch, and even when we get to family news and talk about a particular story, you gotta admit, I think this has been maybe one of the best generations for Nintendo, and I'm like, they're still going strong.
Yeah, I
Even
mean,
before I knew, oh, go ahead.
oh, I was just gonna say, even if you just take Nintendo's first party output, it's probably. I mean, honestly, I would say probably the best. I mean, as much as I love the Wii U, right? I mean, that library is just amazing. But I mean, you look at Switch, it's probably the best library since maybe GameCube.
Mm-hmm.
Like in terms of just pure exclusives, and the Wii U. But I mean, almost all those games are on the Switch now anyway, except for a select few, which are the ones that I want the most. I don't know, the best two Zelda games and the best Xenoblade games and a terrible Star Fox game that you could fix by just making controls that work. Dude, that whole game would work if you just gave it normal controls, man. I'm sorry.
I would let it be what it needs to be.
Star Fox Zero could have been the ultimate Star Fox game, and they just man.
I feel like it's gonna be
Also late in the generation, like what a terrible time to release a gamepad first game, right?
it's Miyamoto and Platinum Games. So
I get it, but the Switch was literally out like a year later. just wait. Give it normal controls.
I it's we'll get into film news, everybody, but I gotta
I don't know
say,
if we will.
I'm so shocked that Miyamoto and Nintendo would go with Platinum Games to make a Star Fox game, and it's just like, you should go to Bandai Namco. They have the experience, or even Sega. Like they had Choplifter, for the Sega Master System and Genesis and arcade. Like Sega and Bandai Namco have the experience for airplane combat.
Yeah.
Even though Konami did make that terrible Top Gun game. Ooh, for the NES. Ooh, that game was garb. That game was questionable content.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Well, at least we're past that.
Yeah.
I don't know where to go from there.
Well, everybody, it's time for Femi News. Corey, take it away.
All right, Ed. So we're going to start out with a very familiar story. If you look back about, I don't know, maybe a year ago on this podcast, what's old is new again, Ed? The Nintendo Switch console bundles announced for the holiday seasons look awfully familiar. So since I wrote this on the show notes, we did get one new bundle, but the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe bundle is back this holiday. No changes except that you get 3 months of Nintendo Switch Online now, which I think they actually offered last year with this though. It's the normal
Mhm.
Switch, not the OLED. It's a digital copy of Mario Kart 8. It's 3 months of Switch Online, so I guess you can play the DLC also. The Animal Crossing Switch Lite bundle is back, but the switches are different. They have the Animal Crossing the leaf kind of wallpaper
Print
on the back of them. Yeah, the
back.
print, and they actually look really nice. To be honest, I really like the Isabelle one, the pink one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it
Yeah, I
looks
do
I
too.
think it looks really nice. Uh, but when you have one, you don't need one. uh, but I mean, the Animal Crossing bundle is pretty much the same unless you want the Switch Lite. So there's a teal one, which is what Timmy and Tommy are those their names?
Yeah.
Yeah, and which is the teal one, and then Isabel's the pink one. But the Switch, like other than that, they look identical. They have the same leaf print. They're just different colors. So that's back. But the one new bundle is the Nintendo Switch Sports bundle, which is also a non OLED. Uh, and I guess that's fun if you don't have a Switch already. Man, Nintendo Switch Sports kind of came and went, didn't it?
Yeah.
I feel like
It
people weren't
was
as into it as Wii Sports.
a lot of people enjoy it and they still play it. It's a really low key game, but I think it was just that, we had Tears of the Kingdom and you had like Final Fantasy 16, you had Street Fighter 6. I think you had so much stuff hitting
Mm-hmm.
that
Wait,
it
did Switch
just like,
Sports come out this year? Did it come out this year?
did it come with this? Oh
I,
no.
I have no idea. Hold on, I'm
I think
looking.
it came out last year.
Nintendo Switch Sports release date. And it was April 29th, 2022. It was last year. Oh
Oh, it
man.
was last year. Oh.
Ugh, gross. Anyways, continue. Sorry.
Oh no! I'm just sorry. I think I know I used this year's games for some reason. I think it just got a resurgence that people started playing it and streaming it and everything. So, um, but yeah,
Yeah. Oh, hey, you know how earlier when I was saying I couldn't figure out why the Starfield stuff was going on?
yeah,
Like all the markers. I just found it. It says show floating markers on screen. You can turn it off. So, whoops. Before anybody gets in the comments, if you made it this far from there, it's fine. It's fine. Oh, but it
yeah,
also
but
turns off my current objective. What? Come on.
yeah,
Ugh.
I just think it. There was just so much coming out. And everything. I know I used this year's games, but I think it's because it was like a resurgence that everybody started playing it, and I started seeing it more in stores. But I'm just like,
Yeah.
yeah. So my apologies, everybody. But I still feel like there were just too many great games coming out even after that game came out.
Hmm. Yeah. What were we talking about? Oh, the bundles.
Yes.
So David Lasby and Stephanie Klimov want to know what we think of the new bundles, and I say, can't trick us. Can't trick us. Nintendo Switch Sports didn't sell how they wanted it to. This is the same Animal Crossing bundle minus the decal on the back of the Switch, which you can probably buy for like $5 if you already have a Switch Lite on
Hmm.
Vistaprint or Amazon and the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Here's my opinion. This seems to be an inventory dump, in my opinion.
That's what everybody been saying, and
Mhm.
um, I won't disagree with that. I feel like this is a kid's move to get these
Mhm.
big three bundles out so people could get it to their kids for
Mhm.
like for their birthday. Because like Nintendo wouldn't be pushing
Yeah.
anything like this just for like an inventory dump, even though it
Mhm.
feels like that. And I can't, that's what I say. I don't disagree about it, but I can't confirm it or anything. I
Yeah.
think they're just really trying to get these systems out, like kind of feel like a restock um, or whatever's last of it, to get it out for kids who want to play Mario Kart or
Mhm.
who want a Nintendo Lite and stuff. Because like for adults and stuff, or adult gamers, they kind of own the Switch unless they'll get one of these bundles as a gift. So I
Mhm.
feel like these are like kind of like gift giving things
Yeah.
that Nintendo is going for, and then just be like, now that you got a Switch and now that you got 3 months of NSO, these are the things that you could do with your system, and these are the additional games that you could get and stuff that you could download, and Club Nintendo and all of this stuff. Like I think it right now they're just trying to. This is like a really big marketing thing for kids and stuff.
Yeah. I also think like I, I'm not saying there's a redesign coming, but I think there's going to be a new like Switch Lite style console coming, and I
Hmm.
think next year they're going to drop the Switch Lite to $99.
Yeah.
And I think with the normal quote unquote Switch, they're trying to force that inventory out because they want people to buy the OLED Switch, which is like the one thing we didn't talk about on this show, but we talked about on our direct recap show. After the Mario Wonder Direct, was that Mario Switch, the red one, is
Yeah.
is an OLED, and I think they want people to go that way maybe at some point.
Hmm.
And man, I'm so of two ways, man. Like I feel like these bundles are inventory dump, right? Because the next console might be coming out next year, but also they just put out two new OLED switches this year. And I'm like,
Yeah.
well, what do you? I mean, like special editions, and I'm like, what are you doing? You know?
But see,
And the
they're Nintendo is smart doing it because they know that people will buy these special editions, which
Mhm.
adds to their console sales, which adds to that number of everybody wanting to see if the system's going to be PlayStation 2. This is
Mhm.
help. That's why it helped beat the Wii numbers in sales.
Yeah,
They know that these special editions, if the design, the pro controllers, and well, really mostly just the system itself, and the dock, like if it's really appealing, people are going to go out and get it. Like I told you when Tears of the Kingdom came out, like. Four of the four of the Zelda Switch consoles were like gone that morning
yeah,
for a curbside pickup. So that was like 1,200 some 1,300 some dollars already for Nintendo. That's adding more sales to them. So they know that if they could get people who love Mario or people who are collectors to get this item, they're going to be like, okay, let's put the Switch out. You know.
yeah. I mean, here's the thing: like the Zelda one, I get because you just kind of put new shells on the Joy Cons, and I think the dock looks a little bit different. And like, okay, so you kind of put new plates on the Joy Cons in the front of the dock, right? And okay,
Hmm.
that's easy enough, right? Plus, it's like still early enough, from the new next console to be like, okay, well, maybe this is the last shot at selling switches to the hardcore, and then we'll move on. But like the Mario one has so much work in it, right? Like you have the red coverings on the Switch itself, you have the special red Joy Cons, you have the red dock, you have the Mario stuff inside the dock, you have all these things. And it's like, man, you put an awful lot of work into this OLED Switch for your new console to come out
They
next
did
year, man.
this. They did the same thing for the Wii. They had when they had that red Wii and the red remote
Hmm.
for I think was
It
it the
was new.
Mario
It was
collection?
it was new Super Mario Brothers. was
Okay.
Wii was the one that came with the red console, but then they re-released the red one towards the end, if I'm not mistaken, in a bundle of some sort.
Yeah.
I'm not 100% sure which that was. Maybe it was the, well, no, I was going to say for the 25th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers, but I don't think that was right either. I don't know. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. But
Yeah. Because
anyway,
I look, I'm not gonna lie. I would have brought a red Wii U if there
Red
was
Wii
one.
U. Yeah, I just like after that Wind Waker one, I don't think Nintendo thought they sold enough to warrant another special edition.
Yeah.
Man, I wanted that Wind Waker gamepad though so bad because it was just the gamepad. It wasn't the actual console, but
Right.
I didn't feel like spending another $350 on a Wii U. So, you know, plus back then I was poor. So, I mean, still kind of, but a lot less poor. So, all right. Uh, do you have anything else to say about this, Ed, before we move on?
No, I just think it's nice that they at least Nintendo didn't make it like a big deal about it. They kind of just dropped it. Um and we'll just see how it does when they get released. I think the live is planned for October. I
Yeah.
think that's what they said.
Yeah. So we'll see. So our next story is the Super Mario Wonder Nintendo Direct. Revealed a lot about the game. I mean, if you want us to have a deep dive conversation about this, you can check out the Nintendo Direct recap show. I mean, I think we were both tired from from that day at work, but we still talked for like 30 minutes about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the game looks awesome. I think that game
Yeah.
is, man, that I didn't look at the beginning of the year. If you would have told me that there were two games that would outdo Zelda for me this year, I would have told you were nuts. But so far, I mean, as much as I love Tears of the Kingdom, it was no Breath of the Wild, man. I really loved Tears of the Kingdom, but it is. I don't think it's going to be my game of the year, to be honest.
Which is fine. That's no problem.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we'll save it for another another day. I can't get into that right now. Check out Boss Rush Video Game Book Club. There are 3 episodes on Tears of the Kingdom. A good 6 hours of
But
conversation.
but I will say before we move on and everything, I will say just like for Tears of the Kingdom, it is a big game. Whether we was hyped for, we had a lot of hype, we had a lot of discussions, and I gotta say, a lot of people was touched by this game, and I think it was more about what the story was about, and then when we got into the world, what can we do? What did Nintendo change? Because I feel like there were some things that changed in this game and everything. I still feel like it is a game of the year contender for me, and not just because I'm a Nintendo fan. I, I put hours into it, and there's
Mhm.
just like Breath of the Wild. There's still so much I don't know, but that's there for people to explore. Like, and I haven't even really got into like the depths or into the sky. I just been doing so much on land, and I'm just like, man, I'm gonna look back at this game or even both games just to be like, that was an experience I really haven't felt any other console generation has done
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah. No, I mean, I still put like 80, 85 hours into the game, but like I don't the building stuff is what kind of set it off for me, to be honest.
Hmm.
But uh Mario Wonder, everybody, coming coming in October. Dude,
Yes.
that game and Sonic Superstars coming out back to back is going to be like I'm like 7 or 8 again. This is going to be awesome. Uh,
I
so
like I will pick up Sonic. I know that, but I feel like I'm going to it's gonna be one of those things. It's gonna be one of those things. Be like, I want to text Corey while I'm on the ground laughing after the level I play, but I can't spoil nothing. And it's like, how do you spoil a Mario game? Because you don't want to tell them what you experienced in the level. That's going to be hard for me.
Mm-hmm.
Because and I definitely going people going to be streaming it and putting the clips online on social media, but I think I'm just literally going to be cracking up at the level design and what I experienced
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah. Um. All right, we're
I,
gonna. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that I feel like it's going to hit past. I think it's going to hit past 1 million.
What?
Uh,
What?
Within the first 3 days.
What?
Wonder.
Dude, I think it's gonna pass 5. I think it's gonna pass 5 million in a week. So
But I'm like, with Spider-Man releasing on PS5, it's a battle, but I think
is it
there's
though?
more hype.
Because Zelda came out right around the time that Final Fantasy 16 and Diablo came out. It sold just fine. So I really think the Nintendo audience is just different from those, right? So I don't know. Also,
But
I don't care about Spider-Man either, so maybe I'm just
I know Spider-Man is going to sell. I just feel
oh
like
yeah.
just passing 1 million, I feel like that's going to happen within the 3 days of its release. We really won't know until maybe that Monday or anything. So it may be like 1 million plus, but I think people are going to be like spending $130 plus, getting Spider Man and getting Wonder, or getting one over the other and stuff, and then getting Wonder a little bit later. Like I know it's going to do very well. I don't know about the rating, the reviews and stuff. Not worried about that, but I'm just saying that I think it's going to hit past 1 million within 3 days.
I bet it's more than that.
Oh yeah,
I think it's going
I
to be way
agree.
more than that. I think it's going to be around 3. I bet it sells at least 3 million in the first 3 days.
Dude, that
Dude, if
mug do
Pikmin,
about five.
if Pikmin sold that much in 3 days, Mario's going to sell that much in 3 days. All right, we're moving
Dude,
on.
Pikmin sold more than Final Fantasy 16 in Japan for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I mean, to be fair, there's like 4 times as many Switches in the world than there are than PS5s.
That
All right,
is true.
we're moving on. We're going to talk about Final Fantasy, but not that Final Fantasy. We're actually going to talk about Final Fantasy twice tonight. Final Fantasy Pixel remasters have sold through 3 million copies, which is great. I'm glad people are looking at those classic games as
Mm-hmm.
you know like they should be. I still would like to get that game, but man, $75 for those is just like that's a lot of money. I know you can buy them individually, but who wants to do that? So congratulations on those. I know there's quite a few classics in there. I know a lot of people really still love the first game. Obviously 4 and 6 are Super Nintendo classics.
Yeah.
So I know people don't really like 2.
I know. I definitely, for me, I know I would just want 6.
Yeah.
But to be honest with you, I mean, I played 5 because of the PS1 version when they did Chrono Trigger.
Mm-hmm.
They put Final Fantasy 5 in it because it never came to America. I've never played 1 on the NES. 2 and 3, or was it 3 and 4? I know 3 got remade for the DS. I
3 and
think
4, 3 and 4 both got remade for DS.
okay, for the disc. Okay, so I own those 2, but I just never got to finish them. So like, and I still don't own the collection or anything. Uh, but I do want to play 6.
Yeah.
And more as I want to beat it and everything because I feel like I got halfway through the game. Um, but it's just like something about part of that game just I never got to finish.
Yeah. Yeah. I played 1 when it came out on that Origins collection for Game Boy Advance. I played the first one.
Mhm.
I never finished it, but I played it. That was actually a really good version of that game. Man, Game Boy Advance had some great Final Fantasy games on there. I mean, Tactics Advance was pretty good too. So, um, All right. Well, congratulations to Final Fantasy Pixel Remasters. Looking forward to. I mean, I think you could play everything up through 12 on Switch now, right? Yeah. Well, 11, I guess,
Yeah.
and 14.
Um.
Yeah.
1 to 10 you could play.
Yeah. And then
Um.
10, 10 2, and 12.
Yeah. Just 13 is the one that everybody can play,
Yeah.
and then 15 is like the chibi version
Yeah. Man, that's a weird
on
version of
Switch.
that game. But I mean, I actually, I actually kind of liked it when I played it. Uh, anyways. All right, Ed, we're moving on. Sea of Stars, the indie game, it sold 250 million copies, or 250,000 copies as of today, as of recording. Uh, the wonderful Sea of Stars has been a hit for developer Sabotage. Like I said, it sold 250,000 copies. Man, 250 million copies. Can you imagine that? Man, it'd be the biggest game of all time.
For
Despite being,
Sabotage.
yeah, despite being available on PS Plus Extra and Xbox Game Pass, the critical reception has been incredibly positive. While many of you will still be meandering through Zale and Valir's adventure, work has already begun on what's next for the Solstice Warriors. DLC for Sea of Stars is currently in development. Speaking on Radio Canada recently, the game's director, uh, Terry Bollinger, confirmed the detail. He explained that the team has been split in two. Some are looking into the studio's third game, while the others have started work on a DLC add-on for the RPG. And then it goes on to explain that it was the DLC was a Kickstarter stretch goal. It links supposedly the DLC will link Sea of Stars to the Messenger, since they take place in the same universe. I think Sea of Stars is the prequel, and so yeah, thanks to our friends over at Push Square for providing the article. I'm kind of shocked, but the other thing I was thinking is that maybe that's why the physical edition is coming later, so they can put it all on the cart or the disc.
Yeah, I will say I didn't know it was getting physical.
Yeah,
I had just found out after the game came out, and I don't know. So, and I don't know, like, do I? I'll have to look more into it because I don't know who do I order it. Like, if I want the physical, do I order it through them, or is like gonna be at Best Buy or something like that? Because I think I would love to have the physical version of this game.
yeah.
So
I mean, depending on who puts it out, I would like to get the physical also. You know,
yeah.
although I did hear an interesting story from a couple indie devs that they actually don't make hardly any money off of physical editions if you're a limited, like limited run or
Hmm.
super rare. The indie games that make physical copies, now obviously it varies from studio to studio, but I heard from like 3 indie developers that the physical edition is more of a novelty for them to have, and that's why a lot of physical copies for indies come later, and that they actually don't make hardly any money off of physical editions.
Is that with them partnering with somebody and not selling it with them through themselves?
Yeah, like if you're going to partner with like East Asia Soft or Super Rare or limited run or something, they it
Hmm.
actually, some studios, it actually almost costs them money or they break even because it just costs that much money to you know going into manufacturing, printing the disc or the cart, getting the plastic boxes and then having them shipped from wherever they're boxed in, some unfortunately some sweatshop over in the east, right? And
Yeah,
and depending on what kind of things come with it, like stickers or even like the collector's editions that have physical objects with them, like
yeah.
they're not making any money off of those, which is sad to hear because I know a lot of people that just buy uh physical copies of indie games because they think they're supporting the developer and they're really not.
Right, because the only way that we're really, I'm assuming if this is true, that's why I should say assume. Uh, that they're making more of their money through physical. I mean, not physical. I mean, through digital, because
Mhm.
I'm assuming like um, Nintendo would get their cut. They get their cut, but I don't know. Like, I guess if you use Unreal, Epic gets their cut, and I think Unity gets a cut also.
Well, yeah. Well, Unreal's a little different, but normally it's like Unreal is kind of providing indies with a deal where they don't have to pay Unreal anything until their first $1 million made.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so like, if a game cost, after that million, I think to use the engine, I think they take 5%, I think. So like you take 5%, Nintendo would get 30, right? So that's
Yeah,
35% right there. Um, then you have to pay the cost of manufacturing, and depending on what the deal is with like limited run or super rare, right, you have to pay them, I would say maybe 10%. So that's 45, 50, 60%, plus you have to you know pay for manufacturing of the physical items, so like they're making maybe 10 to 20%, even less maybe.
yeah. I mean, so I was just speaking to from digital sales
No, yeah,
than
I know.
physical.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the physical, I think a lot of that gets split
Mhm.
and everything. So, and I feel like because like with no limit, keep saying no limit with limited run, if they sell out of all their physicals for Switch and for PlayStation, because that's where they mostly come, I, f- I wonder if that a lot of that money that's come to them feels the cost of getting those games manufactured and printed out and like released and stuff. And if that is the case, what the heck why does it take them so long and everything?
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think limited run is a joke, but that's my opinion. I know there's other opinions out there, but um,
Hmm.
so anyways, I'm happy that Sea of Stars has sold so much, especially being on, two subscription services. I guess technically three if you count PC Game Pass separate from Xbox Game Pass. But congratulations to Sabotage. I think your game is beautiful, and I do plan on getting to it more in depth now that maybe Starfield is done for me. Uh, but we're gonna move on here. Uh, Sega and Atlas plan a big presentation at Tokyo Game Show later this month. I know we kind of already discussed that, but that's not the right link. Uh, so yeah, I mean, Tokyo Game Show, I feel like it's going to be even bigger than it was in previous
Yeah.
years. I feel like there's a lot that, especially Sega, man. I think
Hmm.
Sega's on such a roll right now with Yakuza and good Sonic games and Atlas. Man, I think I really I love current Sega. Can I just say that? I think current Sega is just blowing it out of the water.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I wonder if we'll see that Jet Set Radio um, remaster or remake. But here's what they're scheduled to show. That is, you know, confirmed, right? Uh,
Yeah.
so Sega is showing off at the Sega and Atlas airing special broadcast at Tokyo Game Show later this month. So on September 21st, Sega is showing Endless Dungeon, Like a Dragon, Gaiden, The Man Who Erased His Name, Sonic Superstars. Atlas is showing Persona 3 Reload and Persona 5 Tactica. And these are just confirmed titles, right? They're probably going to announce. I bet
Yeah.
Persona 6 gets announced here. Uh, Partner titles are My Time at Sandrock from DMM Games. They're also showing off FIFA or EA Sports FC 24, which I guess Sega helps distribute over there. Uh, from PlayOn, Sega helps distribute their games over there, which is Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 and Payday 3. And then Sega is also distributing Hogwarts Legacy over there. Uh,
Hmm.
so that's really interesting. Uh,
I wonder if they're. I wonder if Sega Atlas is going to announce Shin Megami Tensei for PlayStation and Xbox, the one that came on Switch,
yeah.
or is that like strictly just Nintendo's? I wonder.
No, I bet it comes to at least PlayStation. I mean, it might come to Xbox too. They have a great relationship. Obviously,
Mhm.
they had Soul Hackers 2 came to Xbox. What was the one that just came that they just announced for from Summer Game Fest or whatever that was? Uh, shoot, I forget what that game was. The uh, new Atlas game.
Oh, from yeah, um,
Mm,
it has like a musical type title like Rhapsody. Um,
yeah, I forget what it's called. Shoot, what was it called? Metaphor. Uh,
yeah, that's it.
yeah, I thought it was Metaphor, but then I
Or
got
Metaphoronic or something like that.
yeah, and then I got confused with that with the other game that's like from X Persona people that were making their own Memento was that game. So I get those confused all the time. But anyways, they will probably, I'm guessing that they show that and show some stuff for Xbox. What was the other thing?
Hmm.
Anyways, yeah,
I
Atlas
think.
and Xbox seem to have a good relationship. Obviously, they have a great relationship with Nintendo. So we shall see. I'm interested to see what they haven't announced. I'm really interested to see if Persona 6 gets announced there. If maybe some sort of maybe a new crossover with Nintendo, like Tokyo Mirage Sessions 2 would be awesome.
Oh
Man,
yeah.
that game's so good. If you like Persona at all or Shin Megami Tensei, play Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Sharp FE,
So
everybody.
yes. So man, I think I have to wait for to give this take or opinion till we get to the till we get to our rumor mill, our
Hmm.
rumor section,
New segment,
because
everybody.
yeah, because I kind of feel like if what we're going to talk about, Sega probably would show up
Hmm.
and say something and then explain more of it at Tokyo Game Show. But I
Yeah,
can't say until we literally get uh to our rumor section.
yeah. All right, the last story we have here, Ed. Breaking news as of this recording. I had to add it really fast. Uh,
Yeah.
Heart Machine Solar Ash is sliding onto Switch next week. I didn't even put it in the what's coming to Switch over the next couple days. So it is coming
Oh,
on September 14th to Switch and Xbox. It was formerly a PlayStation exclusive. Uh, Very excited for this game because Heart Machine did Hyperlight Drifter and is also putting out Hyperlight
yes.
Breaker, early next year, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And man, Solar
Yeah.
Ash looks awesome. I don't know if you watched the trailer or not, Ed, but Solar Ash is kind of like
Seen it
a.
on.
Go ahead.
Oh, I seen the trailers and stuff on PlayStation 4. It
Hmm.
was announced.
Yeah,
So when they showed it, I'm like, oh, this looked very cool because it was more a traversal kind of uh game and everything.
yeah.
So I don't know if they got a new trailer out, but
They
if they
have
do, I
one.
definitely got to check it.
Annapurna put one out today, coming to Xbox and Switch on September 14th. It's clearly the
Annapurna.
Xbox
Oh,
version though, because it's running
I
at like
swear,
60 frames a second.
serious. Annapurna just like it's as for like games and like kind of indie games and stuff. Annapurna is like kind of the best. It's like one of the best doing it.
Yeah, that's what I
I
hear.
like the variety they deliver. I like the variety they deliver. I
Yeah,
should say.
yeah.
Um,
Uh
and we do got another breaking story,
oh.
Corey.
What?
That the Nintendo Switch Online members
Nope,
can
nope.
now
I have it
can
in Pack Watch. Nope, we'll get to it. I already added
the
it to
the
Pack
story
Watch.
that broke today.
The new games coming to Nintendo Switch Online.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in
So
Pack Watch. Don't worry, Ed. I
okay,
got it.
just want
Got
to
it.
just want to make sure.
Got it.
Uh, yeah.
Oh man. All right, Ed. It's time for the rumor mill. I
Ooh.
don't know what kind of exciting way to say that is, but
It's time to pay rumor 64.
oh god, I hate you. Uh, so a lot of new Switch 2 rumors are spouting about, obviously, because
uh,
it's almost that time, everybody. A new generation. We only get to do this like once every clearly 6 or 7 years.
exactly.
I mean, we were waiting for Switch. We were waiting for Switch. We were covering Wii U at the beginning. Man, what a terrible time to start a podcast. It's fine. Switch 2, according to this Nintendo Life article, which was let's see. Man, that is not the right article. Man, my copy paste skills are terrible. Uh so a lot of places, I gotta find the right story. Backwards compatibility has seemingly been confirmed. They showed it behind closed doors at Gamescom, which I don't think we talked about on the last episode. Uh, and with their key partners, we know Square Enix is probably a key partner, and one of the rumors is that Final Fantasy VII Remake might be a launch title, according to these leaks. Which honestly, if you're launching with a new Mario game in Final Fantasy VII and maybe a crossover in like a cross gen
Mm-hmm.
Metroid Prime 4, plus
To,
plus
to,
probably like
to,
a 1-2 switch style game or something, I'm sure.
yeah.
Killer lineup, man.
To emphasize everybody, or to make clear, I should say, a new 3D Mario game, because I
Mm-hmm.
don't think Mario Wonder would be. It would be available for backwards compatibility. I would say that, but I
Yeah.
don't think they're going to release
Mm-mm.
a Switch 2 version of the same game.
Yeah.
So just want to make that clear. I think they would do a new 3D game, so something in the form of Odyssey, Sunshine,
Yeah.
Galaxy,
Mm-hmm.
maybe 3D World 2. Oh, if they do a 3D World 2,
Yeah. Oh, man, dude, 3D World 2. I think they're going to launch
if
a Mario Odyssey successor, but um,
mhm, 3D
so
World 2, I will pre-order even before the system
oh,
come
yeah,
out.
man, that'd be yeah. So this is from Nintendo Wire, so take it with a grain of salt. I know a couple of other outlets have reported it. I don't know how true it is, obviously, but like I think Switch 2, now some outlets are reporting that the Switch 2 slash whatever is going to be as powerful as a PlayStation 5, and I said, haha, that's ridiculous. It's Nintendo. Uh, but I mean, if this is as powerful as like a base PS4 or a PS4 Pro, I think Final Fantasy 7 would be awesome. Be an awesome launch title. Uh, Especially to get maybe people in it, because you know how people like to they want every game on the go now, right?
Hmm.
Whether it's warranted or not. I mean, even us, like we talked about Batman earlier, and dude, Arkham Asylum is like 15 years old at this point. Like,
Yes.
uh, but to have those portable, like people are willing to sacrifice whatever to get these games portable, and I think Final Fantasy VII remake would be like that would be a big gesture of faith from Square Enix, because I mean, I remember when Final Fantasy VII was shown off for Nintendo 64 on when IGN was what was it, just IGN 64 and 64.com or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like they were showing Final Fantasy VII on carts, right? Like that was ridiculous. And the demos that showed it might have even been CES still at that point, or maybe E3 had just started, but they
Yeah.
were like,
E3 had
their
just started.
demos were showing like 3D renders of Final Fantasy VI characters and saying this could be what this game looks like. Uh, you know, we don't know about how much the cartridges are going to cost yet, because it required a lot of memory at the time, and obviously they jumped ship to PlayStation because discs were much cheaper, and
Yes.
PlayStation was easier to develop for. But and I know Final Fantasy VII the remaster is already available on Switch and stuff, and they've released it everywhere at this point. But I think a Final Fantasy VII remake would be a big leap for Square to do. Um, you know, and I know that's kind of ridiculous because we've gotten every single Final Fantasy up to 12 at this point on Switch, and you know, I don't know, man. I think this would be like a really specially weird thing to do. uh, what do you think, Ed?
So I know me and you disagree
Obviously,
on some things.
uh,
We
some
definitely
things.
disagree about some things
This
on this
whole
one. I
this
mean,
whole
like
podcast is built upon our disagreements.
I know, but like for the story, there was things that me and you were discussing, um, because just there were just things that kind of didn't add up and stuff. I think we both agreed that of course Square Enix will have a development kit
Hmm.
because they are a big key developer for Nintendo. Square has seen the money that has rolled in for from Nintendo, so they're going to be a key partner. I think where we kind of disagreed at was the Final Fantasy VII part because my thing was just like, why would Switch 2 get the first version of Final Fantasy remake and not the collection? Secondly, or more
Well,
most
we
importantly,
don't
why
know.
wouldn't Xbox get it?
It could be
Oh, go
integrated,
ahead.
right? And also, like,
Mm-hmm.
it could be the deal that PlayStation made was to keep it off of Xbox, right? Because PlayStation tends to do that. And I know that you and I favor Xbox, but I think we try to look at that realistically, right? But like,
Yes.
Final Fantasy 16 has a 6 month exclusivity window, but I don't see it coming to Xbox in 6 months, right? Or four
Mm-hmm.
now, or whatever it is. And Final Fantasy VII's exclusivity window theoretically ended like a long time ago, and now Rebirth is coming out in early next year, and I think they're doing this first because I think some companies have really looked at this and said, "Hey, if we're gonna put something, say Rebirth does come to Switch after the exclusivity window." And obviously, I would assume this would be Final Fantasy VII Remake plus Integrate, right? I would assume that.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I think they would want to get the remake out first and have the whole series on the console, right? I mean, how many games have you played on a console and then you upgrade to the next console and you were like, man, I wish I had the whole series on this console, right? Um,
Yeah.
So I think that, especially if a game hasn't been on the platform before, like it's different with this Borderlands 3 collection that's coming to Switch now, right? Because the first three games and the like Tales from the Borderlands and New Tales from they're all on Switch already, right? So it makes sense to put
Yeah.
3 out. Well, you know, theories out on that one, but theoretically, it makes sense to put 3 out because 1 and 2 are already on the platform. And if
Even
it
though it's like super late.
Yeah, but I mean, dude, Borderlands came out in like 2008, you know. So I mean, you're not going to put it out
Well,
on Switch in 2008. Uh
yeah, I understand that, but I'm talking about when Switch was popular and they had already had I think the Borderlands games was out or they got announced. People were expecting that 3 would come to all platforms when it got originally released. But Switch was cut out. And then it just feels like after because I think it's been what almost 2 years.
I think it's been longer than that.
Probably.
It's been longer than that because Tiny Tina's Wonderlands has been out for a year already.
Okay.
It's probably been
All
3 or 4 years, to be honest.
do it for you. Um, but let's go with 3 years. If that like, did it take them like 3 years to get that game ported after it came out, or like were they making Tiny Tina and then when Tiny Tina got done, they decided to okay now we can make Borderlands
Well,
3.
I guarantee this wasn't done in house. I think they were looking at the sales of the first games to see if it was worth
Mm-hmm.
porting this game. And once those first games hit a certain milestone, then they're like, okay, let's put the work in and downport it, right? Because like, I mean, that game's on Xbox One and PlayStation 4, but it also has a Series X and S version, which, to be fair, are more important to their sales than a Switch version. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, they had to downport it. They had to weigh. I mean, I feel like we have this discussion all the time. They had to weigh the cost ratio, and how many people were going to buy it on Switch and see if it was worth it. And I think, I don't know, from what I hear, Borderlands 3 is awesome. I mean, it's like it's like $8 on Xbox right now, but uh, this version comes with all the DLC and everything, and
Yeah.
which I think is what's going to happen with Final Fantasy VII Remake. I think they're going to sell the first one.
Hmm.
Uh, it's also a marketing beat too, right? I mean, I guess if Rebirth is coming out early next year, it wouldn't really be a marketing beat, but I think Rebirth and coming out and then putting Remake on Switch or whatever the next console is, Switch 2, I guess we'll just call it for now. Putting That's like two marketing beats for Final Fantasy 7, and then I'm sure Rebirth will have DLC, which will be another marketing beat. So that's potentially three marketing beats within a year. And then once that DLC is out, 6 months or a year later, Rebirth will come to the Switch 2 and be another marketing beat. And then they'll announce the third game in this trilogy, right? It's like a consistent marketing beat for them to keep Final Fantasy 7 in the zeitgeist, right? And which I think is smart. I think it's really smart, especially because people already expect games to come late to Nintendo consoles. So,
Well, yeah. I think. Well, not even just late. I think people are expecting that the Switch version will get announced with everything else gets announced because of the popularity of Switch and the sale numbers, and stuff for it. So definitely with that PSP Final Fantasy game being on Switch, I mean, I could see 7 and it's a great like 7 and the DLC coming also, because then you'll be like, okay, now we're getting the Final Fantasy 7 story, remake story, uh,
mhm.
of it with those two games and DLC and probably more coming later
Yeah.
and everything. It's just, I think it was just weird that if this rumor is true that Final Fantasy 7 would be a relaunch game instead of Square putting something like Dragon Quest, a port of Dragon Quest 12 or
Well,
Dragon
Dragon
Quest
Quest
12
12,
itself.
that doesn't even have a release date. It might come out at the same time,
Right,
right? I mean, that would be a
right.
game that you would point to and be like, this is coming out on both day and date, right?
But I think Dragon Quest 12 would do better than Final Fantasy 7.
Not here.
Um,
Not here.
mm, I
I mean, I know
that,
Dragon Quest is bigger in Japan,
in Japan, yeah.
but
But I
I
think if
I think globally Final Fantasy VII is a bigger brand than Dragon Quest. I know Dragon Quest is huge in Japan, but globally Final Fantasy
yeah.
VII is a bigger brand.
Well, I think with Dragon Quest 11 also doing well here in America, definitely for the Switch version. Um, I don't know how the sale numbers is, but people were excited to get that game on Switch.
Oh yeah.
So,
Well, the Switch also had the weird 3DS mode. It was also
mhm,
the um the definitive edition when it came out, right? Like PlayStation was the
right.
last console to get that, because remember when it came to Game Pass, it was the definitive edition as well.
Well, so this is the thing about it, to help let the audience and listeners know.
Whoa.
When Dragon Quest 11 came out in Japan, it came out on 3DS and PS4. Um, when it came to America, it was only on PS4, the original version. When Xbox and Switch got it, it became the definitive music because they made the instruments live and added some extra stuff to it. So they added that since 3DS was kind of dying out and Switch was the big thing. They added that 3DS functionality to the to the Switch version.
Mhm.
So just to catch you guys up about that and everything.
So, man, I didn't realize Dragon Quest 11 sold this much. All right, so Dragon Quest 11, and they're including Dragon Quest 11 S in these sales numbers, which makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Sold over 6.5 million copies worldwide. Uh, Dragon Quest 11 sales in Japan are 4.2 million. So that would tell you, obviously 2.3 million, outside of Japan, which is still pretty high for Dragon Quest. But
Yeah.
4.2 million, sales in for Switch and PlayStation and 3DS. Crazy.
Yeah, because I think a lot of people was expecting Dragon Quest 11 uh to hit Switch when it got announced and everything, or there was going to be some version of that game coming out. But we didn't know that it was going to be coming and it was going to be at a later date. And you put it in the month where Link's Awakening is out, and Demon Ex Machina and all of these other like great games in 2019. That's still a crazy year.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy year and a crazy month for gaming.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I mean, I would be shocked if I see Final Fantasy VII uh, remake and the DLC for a launch for Switch 2, wherever that may be. Um,
Yeah.
but like you said, it's just a rumor.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. I mean, I here's the thing. I don't know. We don't know how powerful this thing is, right? We don't know
mhm.
anything about it except that it's coming at some point in the future. uh, I don't know if Final Fantasy VII Remake will make a launch, but I bet it's within the first 3 months.
They must, yeah, that I could see.
Especially because, like, if you have
Everything.
Mario and Metroid Prime 4 launching on this thing, people are going to
Yeah,
gravitate towards Mario, right? And Metroid fans are going to gravitate towards Metroid, and Final
Metroid.
Fantasy
Yeah,
VII Remake will get overlooked, right? You're gonna you know what this reminds me of is what, and clearly very different games, right? But
yeah,
this feels like, so you look at the Switch launch. It launched with Zelda. We're talking first party only right now. It launched with Zelda,
yes,
1-2 Switch, and Snipper Clips. And then in April you had Mario Kart 8, and then in May, 3DS got Fire Emblem, but Switch got the big game that they were marketing was Street Fighter 2 Final Challengers. And
yeah.
I think they could position this in that kind of position where, like,
Like
okay,
having a
we have we're going to try to launch with have at least one game a month. And
one big game.
yeah,
Yeah,
and if that third or fourth month we don't have a game ready or some sort of upgraded version of a game ready, we can partner with Square and say, hey, we're going to put some marketing behind this. If we're going to do the marketing, we're going to do the reveal and stuff. Can we put it in this window? That's kind of what I envision.
because I really feel like Octopath Traveler 3 is going to probably be announced for Switch 2 coming in like around that launch area or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I know Square Enix. That's why I say I know Square Enix should have a dev kit. What we're going to get on it at this point in time, we don't know. You mentioned like Nintendo showing it off to key developers and at Gamescom, like behind the scenes and stuff. And I just feel like that's something that doesn't feel Nintendo ish to me in a sense. Like, and then even if that rumor was true, and everything, like there has been no hints, and I'm assuming they have to sign an NDA, like they can't say nothing about it. I My thing was like if Nintendo really was going to show Switch Deluxe, Microsoft would have been the one that they was going to show it to. And the reason I say that is because of Minecraft and everything. Because of Call of Duty, when the Activision deal go through, like if you going to show your next system and what it could do and everything, Microsoft was big at Gamescom. Phil
Mhm.
Spencer was there, so he would have been the one to be behind the scenes to see what they got, even though he'll have to sign something and everything. And it just feels like I said, that's just something Nintendo wouldn't do and everything.
It is a new. It is a new.
It Yes, I do agree. It
New
is a new
regime.
Nintendo.
Well, no, it's a new regime over at Square, right?
Oh, Square, yeah, it's new. But I'm just talking about Switch 2 being shown behind the scenes at Gamescom.
Yeah.
Like that doesn't feel very Nintendo. Nintendo really want to keep that under wraps until it's ready for them to reveal and everything.
Yeah. All right, Ed, let's move on to this next rumor. And supposedly, according to Insider Gaming, which I really trust, and a bunch of other
Mhm.
outlets, there is another Nintendo Direct coming the week of what the a week from when we're recording. So it's the
Yeah,
week of the 11th, September 11th. So probably the 13th would be that Wednesday or 14th.
the
I'm assuming it would
the
be in there.
13th, I think,
Um,
because today's the 5th. That the 7 days would make the 12th, so it would be a 13th. It'd
which
probably be that Wednesday.
yeah, which is like kind of interesting because obviously they just had the Mario one and people were disappointed for some reason. I'm like, I don't care. I literally don't care about anything else Nintendo's putting out the rest of the year.
Yeah.
This was like the perfect direct for me. But they still need to like reveal third party stuff and say what's coming for the rest of the year and kind of dive deeper. And I mean, aside from Luigi's Mansion and the Princess Peach game that don't have titles, or well, Peach doesn't have title. Dark Moon does have title, and like some real basic rumors of what's coming next year. We don't know what's coming. We know four
Hmm.
games that are coming from Nintendo. Well, five, I guess. So we have Mario Wonder, Detective Pikachu, RPG, Mario RPG, Princess Peach, and Luigi's Mansion Dark Moon. Those are the five Nintendo games that we know are coming, and Metroid Prime maybe. But I feel like that's a Game Awards trailer. Um, and like we still know that Nintendo wants to put out games for at least another year or a year and a
Yeah.
half or so. So what's coming? I know they like to release remakes in January, which I
So,
think would be
so
Dark
I,
Moon.
so I think titles that they announced in their February and part of their summer direct, I think they're going to be focusing on what's coming on in the fall. So, because there's been games, indie third party, there's been games that have got announced but not dated or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they're going to just be like, okay, this is the September one. We're going to focus stuff that's going into the fall, and then may have some secrets and stuff that's going to come also into the winter. I don't think they're going to be hitting the 2024 stuff until their November, December direct and stuff to reveal what's coming out for next year, because once they do that last direct for this year, we're going to be looking at February. Okay, Nintendo, what are you dropping and everything? Um, the biggest thing is just like, Nintendo, what do you have planned for January and everything? Because you had the Pokemon game, and then this year you had Fire Emblem Engage. So what do you have planned for January this year and everything? Because right now, and I I'm not saying that I hate to say it, but Tekken 8 is the big game in January next year. So Nintendo doesn't have anything first party wise coming out in January and
Yeah.
everything. I think they really want to focus on, okay, we already did Mario Wonder Direct. You guys know about that. Okay, we want to focus on Mario RPG because that is the big game, and we know that the sale numbers are going to be good for that. We'll finally see Hogwarts Legacy maybe for a Switch, and people may point out and laugh and stuff, but it may look and run good. We don't know and everything. We still got some ports. We might get some N64 and Sega Genesis NSO games announced, like what we got planned, what Nintendo has planned for the fall. We know some of it, but I really feel like there's going to still be a lot of reveals. Damon X Machina 2, they haven't shown any gameplay or like another trailer or date anything. That might be a Nintendo exclusive once again, and we may see something for that for 2024. But we may also see like get a beta test for it. Heck, we may see. I know this is going to be a big stretch, but heck, we may see some Armor Core collections from software. Like From Software might actually be putting some stuff out for Switch. As crazy as it may seem, they may.
Yeah.
You know, like we cannot, Konami, we got the Metal Gear Solid collection, so that's going to be in there, and they might even do a deeper dive more into that. We may see stuff that will blow our mind. It's just like, but I think they're going to be focused really on stuff that's been announced for the fall with some unexpected announcements. I think the do we get another big game reveal? Because if we do, I really, they, of course, it can't be a Kirby game. It can't be a Mario game. Um, it may be a game that they just like HD and stuff. We it may something might come to platinum, like Nintendo might shock us, and as crazy it may seem, a game that would get people talking is going to be a Mother 3 announcement or a new F-Zero.
Which
Like if they it
I don't think either of those are getting announced.
well yeah, but like for a big game to end, if those two got announced, everybody is going to be talking all day about that.
Mm-hmm.
That is going to be the highlight of gaming. Unless something real crazy happens. That would be the only thing. And I know they want to get one out because of Tokyo Game Show and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And shoot, hey, they may have something exclusive with Sega that we don't know. I know one of my friends wants Shining Force 3, I believe. But shoot, Nintendo could be like, hey Sega, want to put Fantasy Star 5 on our system?
Hmm.
Go ahead.
Man, Fantasy Star 5, man.
It's a hot take. It's as crazy as it may seem, but that's a possibility of that happening.
Yeah. well, Ed. Yeah, man, Nintendo Direct. I don't know what more they could do, I guess. I mean, Nintendo's always got something up their sleeve, and I'm sure there's some Pokemon spin-off coming in the spring as well. They're not afraid to put out 75 Pokemon games in a year. I'm sure there's some other Kirby garbage coming. But one of the rumors was that they might have some GameCube focused announcements too, which I bet they show more of Bat and Kados HD, right? Like,
Yeah.
GameCube announcements doesn't necessarily mean it's coming to NSO, right? It could mean like, oh,
Yes.
the Zelda HD collection or HD games are coming. Maybe we're getting a Star Fox Assault remaster. I'm just throwing stuff out there. I really don't know. Maybe an F-Zero remaster. I don't know, man. There's a lot. So, you have anything else to say, Ed? Because we still have so much to talk about.
No, that's gonna be it. I just do want to let everybody know that if it does happen next week or when it ever happens, we will be doing a direct recap for it. So be looking out for the future of that. We don't know when it's gonna happen. I'm assuming it's gonna happen probably in the morning, like they normally do.
Like at 10 a.m.
Yes.
On a Wednesday. It's fine. All right, we're gonna move on. We already talked about Starfield quite a bit, so we're gonna skip the Xbox story. Some people said it was the most important game since the original Gears of War. I kind of disagree with that. I actually think Halo 5, which Gears of War was a critical hit and Halo 5 was not, but that doesn't make it any less important at the time it was released. But we're going to skip that because we already talked about this. But the other thing that on the PlayStation side of things, there wasn't a lot of news except for the heavily increased price of PlayStation Plus. 30% across all tiers, making the prices the following. So the essential tier, which is just the basic tier to play online and get your free games and cloud saves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Went from $59.99 to $79.99. $20
Six,
for
yeah,
a year.
$60 to $80.
Yeah. The extra tier went from $99.99, reasonable, cheaper than a year of regular Game Pass, right? I mean, regular Game Pass is about, I don't know, I guess, $120, $130
It's 120. Yeah.
to $134.99.
That is insane. That's like 40, that's about what, $45 increase? I think.
It's 35.
Oh, 35.
Uh,
Okay.
and at $100, I actually think the extra tier is a great tier. I think the extra tier might be a little bit better than Game Pass. If regular Game Pass, I mean, I think if you have Ultimate and get all the EA stuff, I think Game Pass Ultimate is the best deal. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, Extra was giving it a run for its money at $99. Not anymore. $134.99. Now here's the real kicker, Ed. The premium tier, which was $119.99, not worth it at that price, has increased to $159.99 a year.
160 a year.
$160? Oh my gosh. To stream games on the extra tier and have access to a few PlayStation Classic games, which buy the ones you want for $7 or $8 and call it a day, right? I mean, it's way cheaper to
Mm-hmm.
do that. LeRon and I were talking today. I was like, man, I just downgraded from extra to essential because I'm not paying $134.99 for extra when I don't even use my PlayStation all that much. I actually thought about dropping it altogether, PlayStation Plus, but I have,
So many people are planning to drop it.
I know, I was thinking about dropping it today too, uh, and I still might. It's 20. It's so for 3 months, which is also a terrible deal. For 3 months, it's $25. I think I'm going to keep it for 3 more months and see what happens. But after 3 months, I might just cancel it altogether because I don't use it that much. I only use PlayStation for
Mm-hmm.
exclusives, and I'm not paying $80 a year for cloud saves, right? So, uh,
I probably will pay the $80. Well, of course I'm gonna pay the $80, but I think I'm going to do I think I'm gonna cancel it after mine. Like after they say, "Do you want to renew?" I'm gonna say no,
mhm,
because I don't really play my PlayStation for anything. I will get back to it and stuff. I think I would restart my PlayStation Plus once I get a PS5.
mhm,
But it's like I'm not so much in a rush to play a lot of those games.
mhm.
Um, and
Yeah,
like the $20 increase, okay, that's fine. Um, but unlike for everything else, I'm just like you're still not really getting any first party games and stuff
yeah.
on it. Like you still got to spend the $70 to get their games.
Yeah, I
So I'm
mean, you
like, I
can
might.
if you have extra and you don't mind waiting, like there are some first party
Mhm,
games on extra. I mean, I think Ratchet and Clank is on there, Returnal's on there, Horizon is on there, which is, man, Horizon's the best. That's a game I would love to get back to, is Horizon Forbidden West. But well, I don't know if I'll have time anytime soon. So I man, I man, this is just such a hard
the
pill to swallow on all three levels.
the outrage for it was obnoxious. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Y'all thought they're doing. I'm like, y'all paid the same much to play Starfield early. Y'all did the same thing to do for a collector's item for Spider-Man. You're going to pay that much to get a controller. So it's just like, why y'all complaining about the price of a service that have went up when y'all are already paying the stuff for products?
Yeah, but I
And
think
some
a
of those artists,
product is different than just the service, right? I mean, you can see
right?
the product, you can hold the product, you can play the product. Whereas this, like, yeah, sure, you get your free games at the basic level, but like paying $80 a year to not see anything, and like the most popular games don't even require extra or essential.
Hmm.
Fortnite, Destiny, Apex don't require Call of Duty Warzone don't require you to pay for online because free to play games don't require the paid online because they're making more money on the
Right.
back end of those, like for skins and battle passes and
But yeah,
poop shoots. I don't know what I don't know what else they're paying for, but you know what I mean.
but but it's but I think it was just people getting upset because they raised the price. I'm like, well, people are going to be upset about any prices being raised. You were upset that Tears of the Kingdom was going to be $70, but it earned the $70. You know, Xbox went up in prices for stuff, um, but no one's complaining about those prices or anything. Um, there's still some games that's $60. There's some games that's for $70. It's just the industry and the economics of gaming has changed, so things are going to go up in price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, people were mad that they was going to have to pay $50 a year for NSO. I'm like, look, yes, you are paying $50 a year, and it's the most basic thing. Yeah, you don't get no chat menus and stuff like that. But I'm like, they're going to add more to the service. So it's not like you only getting about one system. You now got six systems, and then they're adding games to it. Yeah, they're classical games, but they're adding stuff that, don't forget, some of these games are from Japan that's never been released in America.
Mm-hmm.
That's the stuff that I like, that I get to play something that as a kid I never got to play, that was from another region.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's only one payment. Shoot, $50 divided by 12 months. Shoot, that's what, about four
$7 or
dollars
$8.
per month.
So yeah, man, I don't know. $5, $5, $5. If it's $50 for a year,
That would make it
I don't
60.
know.
It's about
Whatever.
450.
For something. I don't know. I was looking at my $59.99. Um, but yeah, man, I don't know. I think this is ridiculous, especially when you look at something like Nintendo Switch Online. The
Hmm.
basic is $20 a year and $50 a year, and people are mad at that price, but they're not mad at this. Come on.
People were mad at Xbox when they did the same
Oh,
thing.
I know. And like, look, if you're into PlayStation and you like, I mean, all I can say is like, I think it's kind of ridiculous. But like, if you don't, then vote. I mean, vote with your wallet. Either way, that's
Hmm.
if you think it's ridiculous, don't pay. If you think it's worth it, then pay what you want. Right?
Right.
I don't know. All right, Ed, we still have a lot of show to go. We have like 10 questions and pack watch and all right. Here pack watch, Ed. Pack watch. Pack
Backwatch.
watch. So here are the major releases coming to Nintendo Switch. Obviously, we already talked about Solar Ash, which is coming on the 12th. But also on the 12th, we're getting Super Bomberman R2, the latest title of the Party Battle game series. Super Bomberman R has new adventures and game modes. It has the largest content volume in the series history. The game features not only offline battles that can be played with family and friends, but also online battles that connect players from all over the world, as well as a single player mode. Gunbrella is also coming on the 12th. Uncover the dark, the dark secrets of a gritty, tangled metropolis, and battle diabolic villains with your trusty Gunbrella, the bulletproof brawly that doubles as a firearm. On the 13th is the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Hidden Treasure of Area Zero, the Teal Mask, which is part one of the DLC. The Teal Mask, you'll put on a traditional Jinbei outfit and take part in the festival that's held annually in the village. There's also a part 2 coming later. On 9/15, we get the Bat and Kados 1 and 2 HD remaster. 2 JRPG masterpieces return. Bat and Kados Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean and Bat and Kados Origins are back with improved graphics and new features to aid game progression, making them even easier to play. Great.
Don't jack this up, Bandai Namco, like you did Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah. Well, they don't have a PS3 version of Bat and Kados, so I think we're fine. Gloomhaven. On the 18th, lead your band of mercenaries in the land of Gloomhaven. Work with unsavory individuals, shape the fate of the region, fight your way through horrific places, and get rich or die trying in this ruthless tactical RPG. On the 19th, Mortal Kombat 1 is coming. Discover a reborn Mortal Kombat universe created by the fire god Liu Kang. Mortal Kombat 1 ushers in a new era of the iconic franchise with a new fighting system, game modes, and fatalities. Man, every time I see Mortal Kombat, I'm like, I want to play Mortal Kombat, and then I don't really want to play Mortal Kombat. Although Mortal Kombat 11 functioned really well on Switch, that was cool.
I have 11. I still ain't started that game yet.
And lastly, on the 19th, You Suck at Parking. You Suck at Parking is the only racing game where your goal is to stop and park your ride, and is to stop and parking your ride is more important than your driving skills. It's a hot race against the clock as you drift, cruise, and go airborne over 250 frustratingly fun wild levels. Frustratingly fun sounds awful. Also, breaking news as of this recording.
Yeah.
New Nintendo Switch Online games, including on the NES, you get Joy Mech Fight, Downtown Neketsu March Super Awesome Field Day. Jeez, dude, these Japanese titles sometimes, man. On Super Nintendo, you get Kirby Star Stacker, which is some sort of match 4 puzzle game, 3-4 puzzle game. So, that game actually looks fun. I'm watching the trailer for it right now. And then on Game Boy Color, Quest for Camelot. I actually remember that game. Quest for Camelot by Titus. It's an interesting game. But yeah, those are your new NSO games. Pretty cool. I told you more Kirby trash was coming. Oh man. Wow. All right, Ed. I'm throwing it back to you. I'm throwing it back to you. I have to get.
Okay, everybody.
I'm thirsty. Oh, it's over here. Keep going. Keep going.
Well, everybody, it's time for Question Block. And like Corey said, we do have a lot of questions, so we're going to get right into them. This first one comes from Devil Cox via Twitter. He asks, what features would you like in the Switch 2? So, Corey, I'm going to say you give 2 and I give 2.
2 features?
Yeah. Huh. Just for right now.
Yeah.
What 2 features would we like in Switch 2?
Yeah. Let's see.
What would be your first one?
I mean, they're not really features. They're just kind of improvements on what's already there. Mm-hmm. Really. I would. So I was looking at this. I was looking at the Steam Deck. Not features. The insides. Man, I'm losing it. It's almost 11:30. Like they're the what do you call them? Anyways, I was looking at how the Steam Deck runs and what's inside of the Steam Deck, and the $400 version is actually relatively what I expect the next console to be. But I would love some sort of SSD inside this thing.
I was going to say the same thing.
Not 32 gigs of flash memory. We need an SSD in this thing with at least 256 gigs, right? I mean, 512 would be preferred, but 256 gigs. And I would like them to have some sort of improved online functionality. I think the Switch, aside from, I think it still needs an SD card. I actually think that is actually a very valuable part of the console, is expanding your memory. But have some memory inside the thing inside the thing first off. But I mean, you look at Xbox and PlayStation, and they have really robust online functionality, whether you like their stores or not, whatever. I mean, the Switch store kind of sucks too, but I think you need to have that kind of almost Xbox gamer tag type thing where you can see. I mean, the Switch, you can see what your friends are playing or what they have played, but you can't connect with them really, right? You just unless you're playing like an online game, but then you have to use Discord or the phone app, and it's really cumbersome. I want them to streamline that. I really want them to like embrace the internet because they have such a hard time embracing the internet, and I know they want to kind of keep the nice thing about Switch 2 is like if you're trying and Switch also the current one, right, is like if you're a family that doesn't really play games, like I mean, imagine if you didn't know how to play games and you got some sort of console for the first time, and like setting up an Xbox and a PlayStation is such a hassle, you know? You have to create
Hmm.
your profile. You have to create your gamer tag. You have to hook it up to online for the updates. You have to, you know, learn how to use the interface in the store. And then you look at the Switch and like it's super simple, right? It's just the squares. You pop a game in, you can play the game. You don't really have to create some sort of gamer tag profile unless you really want to buy digital games, right? Like it's really simple. And I want them to find a way to streamline, that simplicity with a little bit of the complexity of the Xbox and the PlayStation without making it cumbersome, right? Um, and also redesign the store, man. I'm tired of looking at these tiles of just new releases. We got Bebop Boop Boop and Hentai Fighters 7 or whatever it's called. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean though? Like
Yeah. No, what his TIE Fighter sound like a real game on Switch.
I mean, there's
It's
Hentai Survivors, there's these
yes,
other games like they're out there, man.
they're out there. Yeah. Well, for me, um, I really hope they get into the streaming business, and I would love to see Switch Two could be like connected to YouTube, so you could stream to through YouTube for playing games, kind of like how PlayStation Four is, like
Oh, you mean like
within the system.
actually like streaming like Xbox and PlayStation, like two, like instead of having this complex computer setup, right?
Yeah, you stream through the system because like even though I do Twitch through my Xbox, I like the YouTube streaming on my PlayStation 4. Like it's so easy to do, like and
Uh-huh.
everything. And of course, and then you could put it out, everybody could see it and stuff like that. Um, but yeah, I would love for them to have a streaming service on Switch too. That and if they feel comfortable or even they want to do Facebook gaming, that's fine. I really wish that Mixer was still around with Xbox and they went through that because I think if Xbox would still have Mixer and they brought it to Nintendo to be like, hey, we want to put the service on, and they was cool with it, I think a lot of more people would have been using Mixer. Um, and a lot of Nintendo games would be on it.
Man,
Uh,
Mixer was so cool, man.
man, dude, it was so easy to
I
use.
miss Mixer so much.
Exactly. My last thing is, I kind of this is gonna sound crazy, but I feel like I would love to have like a tap system with my credit card instead of keeping it like saved on my Switch or anything. But
Hmm.
you like, if I want to buy a game, I could put everything in the shop. Uh, and then when it gets to the end, it'd be like, do you want to enter like Nintendo eShop card, or do you want to put in your credit card, or do you want to tap? And you tap it with your credit card, it makes a sound and it shows that hey, you paid it. You pay for these games. We're gonna start downloading now. And you go about your business, and you just get an email from Nintendo saying that you bought these games and stuff. So that's what I would love to see, or have like a Nintendo eShop credit card where you could just put money on it, and then just tap it. for and do this when you use the Nintendo eShop credit card. Not only do you get additional coins from when you make the purchase and stuff, you get probably 10% more coins because you use the card.
Mhm.
Or if you're you load it up at stores and stuff. We was talking about this at at work, and there's like reloadable credit cards or debit cards that you can put cash and money in. If you were able to get like a barcode that was connected to a Nintendo eShop credit card, and you go to Walgreens or CVS and you put money on it and stuff, you could go do that and bam and everything.
Mhm. Yeah. Yeah, that'd be,
Uh,
especially because, like, I mean, not that it's the same thing, but you already have tap for the amiibo stuff, right? So
right.
I don't know.
And and plus you wouldn't have to worry about your kids buying games on the system
Yeah.
that you didn't know that they bought.
Mhm.
So that's like extra protection. The one true James asks, what Nintendo franchise do you wish had merch? For me, Elite Beat Agents and Hotel Dust.
Man,
But Elite Beat Agents for me.
this is so hard. I mean, there's not a lot of Xenoblade merch out there, and I think aesthetically that those games look awesome. Um,
Yes.
so I would really like to see more of that. If there hasn't been merch already. Man, there's not really any Star Fox merch either, and I think Star Fox merch would be cool, honestly.
I would like to see more costumes for their franchises. So yeah, like a Xenoblade Chronicles or um more Metroid stuff, or heck, even Fire Emblem and stuff. Instead of people having to get them custom made or design it themselves, I would love to see like, Halloween is coming up. Here's the Nintendo costumes, and it's just not Mario, Princess Peach, or Luigi or Toad or something. It's not that. It's a lot of Nintendo characters and stuff. Captain Nintendo, not Captain Nintendo, Captain Falcon and
Hmm.
stuff.
Yeah,
So, but like more franchise game with merch for me is the Leapy Agents.
yeah. I'd also like to see some Donkey Kong merch. There's not like a lot of like new Donkey Kong stuff. Every time you see it, it's just like
Yeah.
8-bit Donkey Kong. But oh well.
Deshaun Malone asks, "What do you feel like Nintendo needs to do to keep their sales momentum going with the next generation on the horizon? What does it need to launch within the first 3 months?" Um,
Well, I think we already kind of talked about the launch. I think obviously it's going to be
yeah,
Mario, some sort of version of Metroid Prime 4, and some sort of party-ish game. Hopefully, it's not
yeah,
5-6 Switch or whatever. Um, I think,
definitely, they need Minecraft on it.
yeah. Well, I mean, if it's backwards compatible, then that's already going to be there, right?
That doesn't stop Microsoft putting the Switch 2 version on it
I mean, they
and
haven't,
having
they haven't,
everything carry over.
they haven't made a PS5 or Xbox Series native version yet of Minecraft. It's still the Xbox One and PS4 versions.
And I think they can't make a PS5 version because Sony didn't give them a dev kit. I think that's what they said when it was in court.
Right, but I mean, they still haven't made an Xbox Series version.
That
So
is true.
I, so I'm going to come out and say that I don't think that Switch 2 is going to do as well out of the gate. Not because it's not going to be an awesome system. I think the hardcore will be
Mm,
there day one or soon after. But the Switch has sold so many copies or so many systems to quote unquote casual people who like didn't even know the Wii U existed, right?
yeah.
That I think it's easier to go to a new console off of a quote unquote failure to a new console and be excited for it and it sells because the last one didn't, then like the Switch is going to be the best selling console of all time, but when all is said and done. I don't think
Mhm.
I think that goal is going to be reached. Whether it's before or soon after, it's going to be. And that's going to be a hard mountain to climb with a new console, right? Especially getting new people in, having people move over, even if they're happy with their Switch, right? You have to launch with the right games. You have to sell it as a new product. You have to
Mm-hmm.
like say, here's what's improved and here's what's staying the same if it's a hybrid console. You have to make the case for backwards compatibility without it overshadowing your new games. So it's going to be really hard. And I mean, I PlayStation didn't have an issue with it, right? But Nintendo has always been. I mean, they have a success, and then they have a downer, right? Not necessarily a failure, but like GameCube sold 21 million units, and then you have the Wii, which sold what 105 million approximately.
Yeah.
And then you have the Wii U, which sold 13 million, and now you have the Switch, which is at 130 plus million now. And so it's going to be really hard for them to convince people to adopt the console at least early on. I think it'll pick up around around this the second year it'll definitely pick up sales, right? But like initially, that console is going to it's gonna it's gonna not sell as well as the Switch, and I know the industry is just going to be like, oh well, you know, is Nintendo having another downer console, and it'll be like a whole storyline, but I don't know. Well, we had a few technical difficulties here. Whoops. Oops. I'm not 100% sure where it cut off, Ed, but what I was saying was it basically needs to launch with the right games, backwards compatibility, but not overpowering the new games, and that they need to really launch it at a time where they're comfortable saying that they're done supporting the Switch.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say.
Yeah, which I mean, third parties and B tier games and indie games probably won't abandon the Switch right away, right? Because you don't really need to, especially if it's backwards compatible, especially indie games.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I do think once the new console launches, they're going to cut the Switch off first party wise,
Oh yeah.
unless it's like a remaster or something that a second party can kind of clean up and do, right? I mean, we saw that with the 3DS, and obviously the Wii U got cut off super early. I mean,
Oh yeah.
from Breath of the Wild being the cross-gen game, but I mean, Nintendo after Breath of the Wild, Nintendo was done. Obviously, Alpha Dream did some Mario and Luigi games before they shut down for 3DS, and there's a couple other games on the 3DS that were. I mean, I think a Pokemon game came out that first year of the Switch on 3DS. But my point is that they need to be really careful. They need to not pull the Wii U and call it like a Switch U or a new Switch or a Super Switch. They need to make it clear that it is a new console. Also,
Yes.
I don't care if it's like a hybrid console like the Switch. I prefer it, but they need to make sure it looks different enough, and they need to really market it as this is not a Switch. This is a new console. I don't know what you call it. I don't know how you do that, but it just can't be called that. I mean, I think it can probably have Switch in the title, but you need to make it quite clear that it is like Nintendo Switch Gen 2 or something, right? Like, because I do think Nintendo wants to go the Apple route and say, because Apple puts out a new iPad every year, and it's just called the iPad every year. It's just called the iPad, and people just know that, hey, Apple's putting out a new iPad in September or whatever, and they've grown accustomed to that. And I think Nintendo wants to get there, but I don't think video game culture is ready to accept that. Obviously, like from the Wii to Wii U, it definitely wasn't accepted. Now it's 10 years, 11 years later, but maybe they're more ready than ever. But I still think they got to differentiate it enough to, like, even if it's just Switch 2 at the moment, right? They still got to differentiate it. So
Yeah.
I hope I got everything in there that I wanted to. I don't really know where the recording stopped, to be honest, but it's
You
fine.
got everything in.
Yeah,
Oh. Matthew Kill asks via Discord, how many donuts can you eat in one sitting?
a whole box.
I would say about 4. I
4.
could.
Oh
Mm-hmm.
man, these are rookie numbers. It also
The
depends on
reason,
what kind of donuts they are, right? Like,
that's what I was about to say
what if
because
it's
I'm
a?
just like,
Go ahead. Sorry.
oh, because I was about to say, because if it's like a Boston cream or it's like a cream filling to it, I
Hmm.
might get full. Apple fritters kind of take me a while to eat because not only are they sweet and delicious and everything, they take a little time to chew for me and
A little
everything.
time to chew. Yeah, I mean,
Uh,
also it depends on if it's like, what if it's a box of donut holes? I mean, you could eat
like
20
the
of those in no
dude,
no time.
the the mini those holes that be at from Dunkin' Donuts. Shoot, it
Mm.
must be the bomb,
Dude, you
big.
get the chocolate glazed ones. Oh,
Yes.
oh, so good. Or the cinnamon sugar ones are also delicious. But I
So I
don't.
don't.
What?
Oh, I don't do the cinnamon sugar because I normally do like some maybe the powder ones, but I know I do the glaze, I do the chocolate glaze, and I try to do the one with the strawberry fillings
Hmm.
in them and everything. If they don't cinnamon a cinnamon one in there, I will eat it and everything.
Uh, the only thing I don't like about donut holes is when you get like three or four flavors and they throw them all in the same box. I'm like, no, no, nope. But if we're talking regular donuts, like if it's just like a regular round, oh dude, I could put away a whole box, no problem. I'd be sick afterwards, but I could do it.
Right.
Oh man,
I think
the
it's just too.
chocolate on chocolates, the
Oh, those are good.
chocolate cream sticks. Mm. I think some people call them long johns.
Yes, we
Apparently,
call them.
apparently, chocolate cream stick is just a Northeast Ohio term for these donuts. Because anytime I talk to somebody who's not from Northeast Ohio, they're like, "What is a chocolate cream stick?"
Corey, don't forget we had a boss rush
Oh
discussion
yeah, we
in the
did,
writing chat
didn't we?
where we, yes, and I think it was because of, and we're gonna move on from this one. I know for me, the reason why we call it long john is because when we hear the word cream, we're thinking there's a cream filling in it, and in long johns there isn't. You know,
Hmm.
um, I know we have frosting, like chocolate frosting and stuff, and I think when we have the Long John things with cream in it, I think we call it eclair. Uh,
Yeah, that's the other word people use.
yeah, because that's what we kind of been taught. Um, and I don't know if that's a Boston thing or something. Like if that's an East Coast thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. I just know that our grocery store sells. It's called Giant Eagle,
Hmm.
which if you're on the east side of Ohio or Western Pennsylvania, you know what Giant Eagle is. They sell the best chocolate cream sticks, dude. Dude, they're like
Mm.
they're like long, but they're almost square. Like they're like really long and fat, right? And like
Rectangle-ish kind
yeah,
of in a
yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they're rectangles, but they're like usually the ones you get from like Krispy Kreme are like real thin, right? It's like
Okay. Yeah.
whatever. But these ones, man, they're like Chipotle burrito sized donuts, man.
Ooh.
They're good, and I eat like three of them at a time. They're so good.
If I come when I come back, you have to take me there and we'll get one.
I'm so excited. Now I just want donuts.
Uh,
But yeah, I can put away. Shout out to Matt.
yeah,
Kind of miss
hope
Matt.
he's doing well.
Yeah,
Being uh, I think this was his first Father's Day. I think,
yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
So, well, our last question comes from Sam IM46 via Twitter. He asks, "What licensed IP would you like to see Nintendo take a crack at? What genre, game mechanics, and characters would you like to see in it?"
Hmm.
So I gotta ask. If we're doing licensed IP and it's going to Nintendo, Nintendo has to develop it. They can't do
Hmm.
what they did like Ultimate Alliance and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. They got to develop
Um,
it internally somewhere, like the Mario team or the Zelda team, or I mean, even Intelligent Systems. If you're going to do some sort of tactical game, oh man. I
I
mean, hmm, I don't know. I don't know. Man, this is a tough one. I thought I was going to be like, because like here's the thing.
mhm.
I would. I would love a Ninja Turtles game, but I've always talked like a AAA Ninja Turtles game, and not the Last Ronin. The Last Ronin's something different, which I'm still really excited for that game potentially, depending on if that studio can pull it together. But I every time I talk about a TMNT game, I talk about like an Arkham style, like a Batman Arkham style Ninja Turtles game that's kind of like has the vibe of that first movie, like the original movie, like the 1990 movie, not the Michael Bay ones or this new one, right?
Hmm.
Although this new one would be really cool to see with the art style and everything, would be really cool to see as a video game. Uh, but like, I mean, maybe that's the style that you take and like have Nintendo develop it at, like maybe have like the Zelda team take it on, or like some sort of collaboration. I mean, man, no, Nintendo's got to develop it internally. And also, Platinum already made an Ninja Turtles game, and it wasn't very good. Uh, so that crumbles that idea.
So
Uh,
I'm going to be. Oh, you still got more? You still thinking, Corey?
yeah, I mean,
Okay.
I'm thinking, I'm talking my thoughts out loud. I would like to see the Zelda team make some sort of Ninja Turtles game, and like some sort of open world Ninja Turtles game with, you know, you could like, obviously the city, whatever, but like they did such a great job with the depths, I think, in Tears of the Kingdom, that they could do some sort of like sewer maze slash kind of open style thing underground, which would be really interesting because you could fight like the Rat King or Leatherhead, or um some underground villains underground, like or like even have like uh the rock soldiers underground, or almost like Turtles in Time type stuff where you could fight
Hmm.
like a Thrash, or I don't know. There's a lot of choices you could do, and then like you could up in the city, you could have some main objectives and kind of tackle them how you want, and kind of swap out turtles. Like the different turtles would have different abilities, similar to like Link's weapon wheel, and you could kind of like swap turtles out technically to like solve puzzles. And what, I don't think it would be really as in depth as Zelda. It would have to really appeal to a lot of people, including kids. But you could take that Zelda Breath of the Wild concept and kind of formulated around the Ninja Turtles. Like if you need to like build something or something, like you could swap to Donatello for tech stuff, or if you you know what I mean? Like there's definitely different things you could do. And that I think that would be my pick. I know it's not like the greatest
Hmm.
explanation, kind of off the cuff design, but I think that would be really cool to see the Zelda team's take on Ninja Turtles, even if you use the Zelda art style that they've been using, right? Like that would be interesting, or take the new art style, or even not the original cartoon, because like I've kind of like I love the original cartoon, but I love the nostalgia of the original cartoon. I don't know if you've watched it recently; it's pretty bad. Uh,
Hmm.
but like the nostalgia, I would actually take the Fox Kids version of Ninja Turtles, that art style,
Hmm.
like that second cartoon that made its run. I
Yeah.
would I would kind of take that art style, I think, or even the Nickelodeon run, I guess too. You could try like the not the Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the computer animated one that was before that. Um, Man, dude, by the way, I saw a bunch of people like really say that Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was a good show. I'm like, you're kidding. Like the one where like they were all weird looking and Raph was the leader, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. That show was weird. I tried. Look, I tried, and it was not. Mm-mm.
We have a standard definition about that. Or me, you,
Not
and
yet.
Jesse.
Sort of. We kind of talk about it a little bit, but like
Yes.
theoretically, I would love to see a Batman Arkham. I would love a game based on the timeline of the original movies, like the first, like one and Secret of the Ooze, that timeline, and
Hmm.
see what somebody could do with that, those turtles, and that story, and like Super Shredder, does Super Shredder survive? Do we find Karai? Do we fight Krang? at some point? Like, is there supernatural space themes to this? I don't know. Anyways, you go. I'm rambling now.
Okay, so
Sorry.
everybody's gonna be like, "What?" and they're gonna drop their jaw when they hear what I'm about to say.
Oh
So
boy.
everybody get prepared. I would love to see Nintendo to take on Final Destination, but make it a team rated and a Japanese ghost story, kind of using a little bit of the mechanics of Ghost Trick in a sense, but like adding their own twisted. The the kids don't die or anything, but they end up like in a hospital or a mental facility. Like if you fail and
I
stuff.
think you're going to end up in a mental facility by suggesting that
So
game.
I think you know you you are a person that you get the vision of how your friends are going to leave this world.
Mm,
And if you if we make it T rated and stuff, you don't get to see the killing, but you might get some words to be like, oh, this person did not make it, you failed them, and you continue the story. You don't get another try. Um, but you get these visions, like different pieces and stuff. Um, on how your friends might, get taken away. So once again, you're cheating death again and stuff. So you have to use clues. You have to uh move stuff around that will stop your friend from dying. And uh because what would happen, like how they will perish.
mm,
You don't get you only get certain clues in everything. So if you look at a level, you'd be like, okay, I need to fix this, so you're prepared to keep your friends safe and everything. And like once you get all your friends safe, uh you would have some kind of showdown in order to like in order to reroute death, stop them from taking you and your friends away. Um, and then you guys get to live another day, but you get a vision that death is not done in a sense.
mm,
But it's done like in a Japanese manner and stuff.
mm.
So Nintendo taking the IP of Final Destination, because it's not a survival horror. It's more
No.
of like a kind of a horror puzzle game, adventure game in a sense.
Hmm.
So
Okay. It's quite an adventure, I guess. Uh,
hey, it said
I
a
mean,
licensed IP.
yeah,
I'm like, why not go with the I'm Eddie V. I go with the unexpected.
I'm Eddie V.
uh, but Corey, did you have any final thoughts for the show?
uh, yeah, I mean, so I know a lot of people are very opinionated on the internet. Um, just, uh, just take a minute and think about what you're going to say or tweet or, you know, put out on social media once in a while when when you have an opinion or you think somebody's opinion is wrong or whatever. Just try to focus on being nice or, at least be thoughtful in your comments or whatever, right? I mean, it's not a struggle for me. I just don't say anything if I disagree with someone, to be honest. But like, just you know, take a minute and be nice. It costs nothing to be nice, right? It
Mm-hmm.
takes a lot of work to be mean. So that's
Uh,
my final thought, Ed.
uh, for my final thought, I'm hoping people are getting their Game of the Year list ready. Definitely for Nintendo, there's been a lot of just their first party has been hit after hit, regardless of some of the sales and some of the review scores. You can't deny that Nintendo has had another great year of first party games. So hopefully people are thinking about that as we get closer to December. I know it's far away, we only got 3 months and everything, but um hopefully everybody's enjoyed the games that they played this year. And if you guys want to get into your backlog games, get into them and everything. And also let me know, what is your fall drink? I want to know what everybody's fall drink is. With that, everybody, have a great week, have a great weekend, and we will see you next time on Nintendo Pow Block. Bye, everybody. Woohoo!
Bye.
If you want to be a Patreon producer, head on over to patreon.com/bossrushmedia and find out which tier is right for you. Our Patreon producers at the $5 tier or higher for this month are Adriel Munger, Austin Campbell, Celeste Roberts, Christian S., Sana Dierig, Francisco Santillan, and Rebecca Jewell. Thank you for your continued support.